If we do not get to the playoffs, Dick Geron will not be back.
Dick Geron was fired.
Woo!
We need a quarterback. It's clear that we need a quarterback.
I disagree with that. I think that we need a line first.
We got off to a good start, and we couldn't close.
I think the Bills are going to destroy the Dolphins.
Really, the biggest thing with that will be can Edwards play?
Hi, welcome to the Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for the first game of the season. Are you guys excited? Because I sort of am. Alright, first topic, offensive breakdown. Chan Gailey calling the plays. New coach, new season. What do we think is going to happen here? Nakia, what do you think?
I kind of like that he's calling the plays. You know, us here in Buffalo, when something goes wrong, we want to blame somebody. So when it does, we know exactly who to go to. Go to the top. We don't have to worry about firing anybody else under him. We can say, you call the plays, it's your fault. But so far, he's looked good. It hasn't looked terribly bad. Of course, it's preseason and we got things to tweak. But so far, so good. I hope we continue on this streak.
All right, what do you think about the new offensive scheme? Because they've looked decent in the preseason, would you say?
Well, it's preseason. You gotta take that with a grain of salt. But honestly, there's a lot more creativity to the offense. They're utilizing Roscoe Parrish, which Dick Geron basically neglected to do. Beyond that, he's using every weapon he has. I mean, C.J. Spiller is a rookie, but he looks damn good.
Yeah, it's in preseason, but yeah, he does. He looks pretty good. All right, impact of
Carlos Dansby.
Carlos Dansby.
Honestly, I think he's overrated. I'm going to say it. I think he is not all that good as a linebacker. I think he's a starting linebacker, but he's not a game changer.
Okay, all right. All right. Obviously, Trent is going to start, and Green is the new starter. What do you think, Trent? I mean, in preseason, it looked like to me he was a little bit more mature. Maybe it has to do with, just like him kind of settling down, and obviously Gailey knows more about opposite Dick Geron. So, what do you think?
I'm hoping that because he's going to be the starter, hopefully he'll get a chance. You know how we usually get starters in, they play a couple of good games, they have a bad game, and then we're ready to hang them. So I'm hoping that because the coach has the confidence in him.
Yeah, he's been here for what, 3-4 years? So.
Right, and we haven't had a quarterback start a whole entire season in Lord knows how long. So I'm hoping that because the coach has a lot of confidence in him, he'll stick with it and he'll work through his ups and downs and gets better.
I could agree with that. I'll say that last time we had a quarterback probably start all 16 games is probably JP, the one good year he had.
Okay, all right. Defensive breakdown. We do some 4-3 and some 3-4, and then defense against the Wildcat. So, what do we think we're going to do, and how are we going to utilize that?
Well, we haven't seen much yet. They haven't shown any exotic blitz schemes or anything like that. I want to see what they're actually going to do out of the 3-4. To be frank, I think that it's very interesting to have a good mix like that. But against the Wildcat, you got to be worried about their weapons, Ronnie Brown, Ricky Williams, and so on.
Yeah, okay. Secondary versus Brandon Marshall. We have a pretty good secondary, I think.
I mean,
they're healthy.
yeah, I was just going to say the same thing. I think we got a couple of guys not playing, already in the first game of the season. So, Brandon Marshall's a good receiver, and he's playing against our, starters, but not really the guys we wanted to see in there all season. So I'm hoping the backup guys do a great job against him.
All right, what do you think about that?
Well, I would say that Leotis McKelvin is probably one of the best nickelbacks in the league. I'd be happy with him matching up on Sarah Marshall.
All right. All right, now we're going to introduce a little segment. And this has to do with people hating, fans hating an NFL team. And obviously the Bills, one of the big rivalries is the Miami Dolphins. Now, what my most hated team is the Patriots. But our producer Jared is going to do a package, and he's going to talk about his most hated team.
The art of tailgating. You gotta know what chips to buy and what ice to bring. This past preseason, both myself and my cousin James, who doesn't really like football that much, packed up the van and drove on over to Ralph Wilson Stadium, where we asked 100 Bills fans what NFL team they hate the most. What NFL team do you hate the most?
I hate the most, I would have to say all of our divisions. New York Jets are right up there, but New England Patriots, horrible. I hate the Patriots. Tom Brady, and break his leg again. Break his leg.
Okay, what NFL team do you hate the most?
The Dolphins.
And why do you hate the Dolphins?
Because Dolphins suck.
What'd you tell me?
I would say the Dolphins, period.
Okay.
I'm a guy growing up being a Bills fan, so the Dolphins suck.
All right, there we go.
Bills rule.
What NFL team do you hate the most?
Oh, well, Patriots. I mean, oh my
Dolphins.
God. Or the Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Hey, Donald, can you put the Patriots as a, hope they die in a plane crash?
That's probably the team I hate the most for the past break and all that. I hate them. I couldn't beat them, but you know what? It's still fun. I'm still a Bills fan. I love them all the way.
What NFL team do you hate the most?
The New York Jets.
All right, what's the reason for that?
Because I'm a Bills fan.
Besides that, why not Dolphins? Why not Patriots?
Because I hate Mark Sanchez and I hate USC, so when he came to the Jets, I didn't like him. So.
All right, good deal. What NFL team do you hate the most?
I would say at this point the New England Patriots.
How come?
Well, they're one of our divisional rivals, and the fact that they kick our butt all the time too. That's probably one of the reasons.
All right. Since the preseason game took place on Kids Day, we had to make sure that we included children in our survey. What NFL team do you guys hate the most?
Patriots.
All right, why?
I just don't like the Saints because Drew Brees is them.
You don't like Drew Brees? All right. You heard it here. After completing the survey, we discovered that the majority of fans actually hate the Dolphins the most. I was honestly expecting the Patriots. But hey, what can I say? The fans have spoken.
Thanks, Jared. Good segment. All right, question. What team you hate the most?
It's got to be the Dolphins. I mean, I grew up with Brian Cox flipping us off in the stands.
Okay, what team do you hate the most?
I'm going with the Dolphins too.
So it's synonymous here, except for me, I hate the Patriots. All right, next segment, the Bills' topic of discussion. It comes from Sports Wolf 3, and he said, what's the deal with our quarterbacks? I mean, what's going on? So what do you think about that?
Honestly, I think Trent Edwards is an average quarterback that might benefit from Gailey's coaching. Fitzpatrick, he's a journeyman scrambler that really isn't all that good. He's a backup. And Braum, very much an unproven commodity, another backup. Clipboard.
Nakia, what do you think?
Of course, as usual, I don't like any of our quarterbacks. I think we need to spend some money and get a nice, good veteran, but we got to deal with what we have, and the lesser of the three evils seems to be Trent Edwards at this point.
If you have a topic you would like us to discuss on the show, please leave us a message on our YouTube page, and we'll try and get that in there for you. All right, now it's time for the keys to the game. My key to the game is stopping the run. Our run defense has been terrible the last couple seasons, and we need to do that. Also, my key to the season is not getting injured. We've been obliterating injuries. Okay, what's yours, Nakia?
I think we have to score. I don't think the Dolphins defense is going to be all that great, but I think their offense has the ability to put up some points, so we got to score.
All right, what's yours?
I think it's in the trenches. You got to have the linemen pushing and allowing the running backs to run, the quarterback to breathe, and I think that will be a big part for both the game and in the season.
All right, and now it's time for the picks of the game. My pick of the game is Bills win 27-17. Nakia, what's yours?
Mine was the Bills to win 21-17.
And yours?
I say Bills 31-17. I guess we all picked 17s for the Dolphins.
I guess so. Jerry, what was yours?
24-20.
All right, so Bills? Okay, yeah. All right, so unanimously we agree that the Bills will win. And that wraps it up. We'll see you next week for the Packers.
You stay classy, Buffalo.
Pregame Show for Week 2 against the Green Bay Packers. Justin's petting a ball, and he's a little sad this week. He's drinking some root beer over there. All right. This week, the Bills' topic of discussion is the Bills looked terrible last game. Justin, what can they do better to make themselves look
Respectable?
Yeah.
I don't know. Block. They really did no blocking on the offensive line. When your leading rusher has 19 yards, you're not getting the job done there. Edwards ran for his life and somehow still completed more than half of his passes. Not a great performance by him, but they need the block.
Yeah.
Simply put.
All right. Our next topic of discussion is: are the Packers Super Bowl bound? A lot of talk about this. Do you think the Packers could go to the Super Bowl?
No. I'm going to say simply put again. They don't have the defense to do it. They can't stop the run as well as they should, which hopefully for us this week will allow one of our 3 running backs to at least maybe get 20 yards, 21 maybe.
All right, now it's time for the offensive breakdown. What do we need to do differently? Obviously, we mentioned blocking. We were talking about earlier running more, running the ball more. So what do you think?
Oh, I can agree with those points. The Bills only ran the ball 17 times, and C.J. Spiller only got 6 yards. Not good enough. Marshawn Lynch looked good for a carry or 2. Fred Jackson only had 4 carries. We need to do more there. There was no reason for the Bills and Trent Edwards to throw 34 times and watch him run for life behind that Swiss cheese line.
Then you definitely need to run more.
Oh, we need to run more, and frankly, our defense did decent enough to win this past Sunday.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can keep it up against a better offense.
All right. Next topic of discussion for the offense is the impact of Clay Matthews. So what's going to happen there?
Well, he's a 3rd-generation NFLer. His grandfather and his dad and uncle all played for long careers. He's going to be a beast for Green Bay and maybe whoever else he plays for afterwards. Probably well until he's in his 40s. No joke there. He's going to be causing some mayhem for the Bills' offensive line and for Trent Edwards as well this week. So they need to block him, and our running backs need to avoid him with quick cut moves.
All right. Now it's time for the defensive breakdown. Injury report. For that, the pause is out after the season, and Grant, which is a big hit for the Packers. So what do we think about those two?
Well, I'll let you talk about pause, but Ryan Grant, that has to screw over a bunch of fantasy owners there. A lot of fantasy agents are a little ticked off about that. As for the Packers and their fans, yeah, they're really bummed because he's a great running back. He's able to do a whole lot for them and be very productive yardage-wise.
Yeah.
Well, that would leave Brandon Jackson trying to fill the load. And guess what? He's not Ryan Grant.
Yeah.
He's not good enough, so.
All right, and let me just talk about pause a little bit. All right, I have his jersey. He's gotten injured almost every single year he's been here. He had so much promise, I thought. He was going to be, he replaced Keo Spikes with a 51. And it's just saddening to see him get injured again. And what did he break?
He didn't really break anything. He's only out for 2 weeks, though.
Oh, okay.
But
well, still,
he did have 8
sensitive.
tackles in 1/2. He played well
Yes,
while he was on this.
He is a good player, and it's crazy all the injuries he's gotten. All right, what do we need to do to pressure Aaron Rodgers? How are we going to do that?
Well, their interior line is not the strongest, and if we were able to send like Andre Davis or Aiken Adele up the middle on a blitz, or do some stunts with our outside backers or DNs, we can actually get into Aaron Rodgers' face. He gets sacked just as much as Edwards. He also gets the ball off. The reason that he doesn't get the same beheading that Edwards does is he takes the risk down the field, and even though he holds the ball just as long as Edwards, more often than not, he's still able to have the time to throw it down the field to Jennings and Driver.
All right. Now it's time for a True Bills topic for discussion. All right, the first one is, why don't we get rid of Lynch? There's a rumor going around that he could go to the Packers now that they lost Grant. So what's your take on that? Why don't we get rid of him, or should we keep him, or what?
Well, we could thank Sports Bowl 3 for the question first off.
Yeah.
Honestly, he is part of a crowded mess at the backfield, and if Brandon Jackson does not impress and Marshawn Lynch has a decent day in the limited carries he has, that ups his stock and Green Bay won't be facing us again. So that'd be extra ammo for the Bills to be able to trade him. And
do you want to trade him?
I would say yes. I would say that we could trade him for a pick. They have Chad Clifton and Mark Tauscher, who are both good linemen, but they also drafted Brian Bulaga very high in this draft, who is a tackle.
Yeah.
So one of those two guys could very well be expendable and fill a big need as an upgrade over Demetrius Bell or Cornell Green, or Ed Wang or Jamon Merritt.
Yeah.
So
All right, our second topic of discussion is, should Fitzpatrick replace Edwards? There's a lot of talk in the local radio stations and talk radios that we should get rid of Edwards and replace him with Fitzpatrick. So what's your take on this? I know.
Well, we have to thank Jake Hamman99 for this question. Honestly, that last game against the Dolphins, I will go out on a limb and I will say this. Trent Edwards is not at fault for that game. The line did not block either way. They couldn't block for the run. They couldn't block for the pass. He still completed more than half of his passes. Yes, he got crushed quite a few times, but he was running for his life because the line did not get it done. The play calling sucked. So I would say that Fitzpatrick, he might be better at running for his life, but he's not a better quarterback. He doesn't have as good of an arm. So why are you trying to run out the more talented player?
And the one thing I want to say is, and I don't know if you can make this parallel, but in the preseason, our first game, we got killed. I don't think Chan Gailey was ready for that game. And he needed to get up to preseason stature, the speed and everything. Now I think the season game, it's different too. It's probably a lot faster, and you need to get up to that. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Packers. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying I think they're going to be.
You're hoping for progress.
I'm going to see some better play and better play calling. All right, now it's time for our keys to the game. My key to the game is they need to block better and run the ball more, like he said.
They don't need to do that. They can just have Edwards stand back in the pocket. Come on.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and so what's your key to the game?
My key to the game, I will say that they got to blitz, and get in Aaron Rodgers' face. He is a quarterback that can get hit. He is a quarterback that does get sacked just as much as Edwards or put any quarterback in for the Bills in the past decade.
All right.
So get in his face.
Get in his face. All right. Now it's time for the picks of the game. All right, my pick of the game is Packers win 35-17. Justin, what's yours?
I'm gonna say 41-10. I don't even think it's gonna be that close.
All right, wait. All right, you gotta give them. Our defense is not that bad. Come on.
You're already picking 35. Come on.
Yeah,
I think the Bills' offense is bad.
You said before the other outtake that they're going to score 60 points.
I think it's
they
possible.
could score. That's BS.
I think it's
that's
completely
not
possible.
That's not going to happen.
Oh, by the way, Nakia wasn't here this week. She was sick. You'll see her score on the graphic.
She wasn't sick. She's faking it. All right.
Faker.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Patriots. That should be a fun game.
It should.
All right. See you later.
Smile, Bills fans, you're on camera. Welcome to Week 3 of Buffalo Bills Pregame Show versus the Patriots. I'm Justin Zane and this is Nakia Franklin. Top story this week, Ryan Fitzpatrick is the starter. That means Trent Edwards is benched. Nakia, what is your take on this?
I'm actually surprised he got pulled so quickly. I thought because Trent Edwards was the one to get the start, he was going to be the quarterback and they were going to ride it out with him. I mean, I kind of like Fitzpatrick because I think he's more mobile. I'm not sure if his arm is any better than Edwards, but Edwards hasn't been using his arm, so I guess they'll end up being the same guy.
Well, as I was talking to people earlier today, including yourself, yeah, Fitzpatrick is more mobile, but he does have a noodle for an arm, in my opinion. I think that they did give up on Edwards too quick. You look at the rest of the offense, the line can't block. Receivers couldn't get open, as Randy Cross kept pointing out yesterday. And the interceptions, I'll say that the interceptions were not Edwards' fault. Stevie Johnson needed to catch the one. That was right on the hands. You have to get that. Even if you're going to get hit, you still have to get it. Catch it or bring it down to the ground, one or the other. Roscoe Parrish, that was a play calling interception, if anything. The defense read that, and Parrish happened to drop it and have it carry him along his body into a defender. Bad luck there. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think that it is a little early to just be giving up on a quarterback. Gailey did mention today in an interview that Fitzpatrick will get more than one start to see if he can be a spark for the team. Moving on, the Bills versus Patriots. The Bills have not won since '03, so this is a long drought. Do you think there's any chance that this will be a reversal today or this week?
I think we have a chance. With the Patriots losing to the Jets, they kind of showed some weakness. And I mean, I'm not sure if we're as good as the Jets, but I think sometimes if we get in a groove, we may be able to, if we keep pushing them, because their defense isn't that great. They got a bunch of no names, they got a few known players, but I think if we can actually get on a roll, we might actually be able to come up with a win.
You know what? I agree with you there that the Patriots aren't invincible like they were 3-4 years ago. That said, their offense is still pretty good. Their line is not great, but they're not terrible either. I'd take their line over ours at this point. And Tom Brady will probably still have enough time to pick apart our defense. That said, their defense, yeah, they have no names, but look at our offense. We have the no-name offense at this point.
True.
Moving down onto the offensive breakdown. Should we be running or passing the ball more? What do you think?
I think one kind of sets up the other. For some reason, Trent Edwards wasn't throwing the long ball. The line wasn't blocking that great, so we couldn't run. So they both kind of fell apart because we weren't doing either one of them effectively. But me personally, I would like to see us pass more.
Oh, I'm going to disagree. I thought they actually ran very effectively on the basis of Lynch being very competent this past Sunday. 17 carries for 64 yards. But the 3 shots that Edwards did take down the field, one was a pass interference call in our favor, the other was a completion to Roscoe, and the other, Clay Matthews drilled him and it fluttered up in the air and down to the ground. That kind of happens, but I would say that they need to keep running the ball, that you have 3 running backs that can get the job done, put the ball in their hands. The best way to attack a Belichick defense, and I say Belichick because he is a cheater, is really to keep attacking up the middle of the field or to get some brute strength on their outside backers who are not the greatest. Do you have anything to add to beat the Belichick defense?
Like I said, I think the long ball can actually beat them because I think their secondary is very weak. So I think if Fitzpatrick can strengthen that arm up in a week, and Lee Evans and Roscoe can catch the ball like they're supposed to, look it in, don't kind of look away, then we may actually be able to exploit them. The linebackers, running might be a little tough, but I think the easiest way to defeat them is with the long ball.
That's interesting. I would say, moving on though, with our linebacking core, we're going to have our hands full with covering the tight ends. And you have Rob Gronkowski and Algie Crumpler. That can be very tough, especially with Chris Kelsey trying to be a linebacker when, let's face it, he's a DN that shouldn't be on a 3-4. How do we actually clear this up? Is there going to be a way we can stop their tight ends and Randy Moss?
Well, Randy Moss is going to be a tough one, number one, because he's tall and he can jump. I'm not sure if our secondary can hang with that end of it. The linebackers, because we have a lot of them, it'll probably be a lot of rotation because you're going to have somebody fresh because they have 3 tight ends that are going to be in and out the game. So I think it's going to be a lot of rotation in the linebackers, which in a way is good because you have somebody fresh, but it's bad because there's no consistency with the group. So, I mean, it's gonna be a good, rough game, I think, in the trenches.
Okay, our producer was under the impression that the Patriots have a weaker O-line. I'm not sure about that, but do you think the Bills D can take advantage of that?
If our players do what they're supposed to do, I think they can. We got a lot of athletes on the team, so if they use what they were naturally given, then yes, you can take advantage of anybody, no matter how good they are. If you're an athlete and you got the speed and the quickness, then yeah, you can overpower anybody.
I agree with you that they do have athletes. Unfortunately, I don't think they have football players at this point. Bill's topics of discussion for this week. Is it the players or the coaches? Well, at this point, about the only consistency as players come in and come out and coaches come in and come out, I would have to say it starts at the top. It's been the owner changing up the structure of the organization. It's been coaches shuffling system after system. It's been players having to learn position after position. I think it's a combo of them all.
I agree with you on that. As far as what the offense is concerned, I definitely think that's a coach's thing because they've had different offenses and they got to learn different things. My biggest problem with the Bills is their tackling. And to me, if you're a football player, you know how to tackle, you know how to wrap up. Doesn't matter who you're playing for. Tackling is something you do, no matter who's coaching.
Feet, yeah.
Right. So on that end, on the defensive end with the tackling, I definitely think it's the players because some of them have been around for more than a year, so they've had more than one coach, and they're still doing the same dumb mistakes, not wrapping up.
Will Aaron Maven be a bust? Well, I think it's too soon to give up on the kid. I think he's only 22 years old, and really he should have stayed in college one more year. I think that he showed that he has a lot of moves, and he's actually generating pressure out of the third down role. What do you think?
I'm not ready to give up on him yet. I'm usually after about 3 years, if you don't do anything, then yeah, I'm done. But he was hurt, so he's still, going through the process of healing, and he may still be playing a little scared. And then now we have a whole new coach, so he has to learn a whole nother system. So next year, after the end of this year, I may be able to say yes, he's a bust if he doesn't come up.
Okay,
Right
I gotta
now,
ask real quick.
I'm not saying he's a bust.
Would you have rather had him covering Jermichael Finley or Chris Kelsey?
Maybe. I kind of think I want him better than Kelsey.
Well, just on this simple thing, he's probably more athletic. He
Yeah.
might have been able to stay with him, but we have to move on to keys and picks for this week.
My key to the game is the Bills throwing the long ball.
My key to the game is the Bills getting Lance Armstrong steroid dealer. And the picks for this week are...
I'm going with the Patriots 27, Bills 17.
I'm not even going to say that's that close. I'm going to say the Patriots 41, the Bills 3.
Jeez.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be pretty. Well, next week, the Bills are facing the Jets. You stay classy, Southern Ontario.
Hi, welcome to Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 4 against the New York Jets. Alright, our topic for this week is the Bills cut Edwards. Big story, benched and cut in the same week. So Nakia, what do you think about this?
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I'm not upset because I didn't really like him anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I was surprised that he got cut.
Alright. Jared, what do you think about it?
Well, I'm wearing a Trent jersey. As
A little ironic, yeah?
a little, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
First thing I saw in my closet today. But No, I just thought that I liked Trent, but
Well, clearly, yeah.
it's all about mentality. If the other players of the Bills didn't like Trent, you can't start the guy. Simple as that.
And
What do you think, though? I mean, you're the only one who's met him.
I met Trent Edwards after his his best game ever. I think he threw 4 touchdown passes in a game against Miami, and it was my sister's 18th birthday, and we went out and met him at a restaurant. And I personally think that he was a nice guy. I mean, he was a great guy to us that night. Maybe. I mean, that was before his concussion, that was before, everything.
So are you saying that his concussion made him like a jerk to the other players?
Was he a jerk to the other players?
I don't know. I'm just wondering. I mean,
I don't know.
it's just
I think he was a nice guy, and he was a nice guy, and he just couldn't play. That's the difference between being a nice guy and being able to play. So.
Okay.
All right. Next topic is all right. So what happens is the Bills, they get close to beating Miami. They get close to beating the Pats. And the most exciting game I've seen from them in a very, very long time. Very long time. And the question is, can we beat the Jets? Nakia, what do you think?
I don't think this week we can beat the Jets. I think it's going to be another one of those games like the Pats and the Fish where we come close. I think we're almost there, but I don't think we're there yet. And we may have a chance with Revis being out. So with Fitzpatrick throwing the long ball, that means, we might have a better chance of actually winning this game. But if we do, it's going to be real close.
Does Evans have a breakout game or something because of Revis?
I
still have a pretty good secondary.
Yeah, I think he will have a good game. Like I said, if we win, it'll be very, very close. If we can pull out the win, it's going to be close, just like the other ones. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a really good game.
All right. Jared, what do you think?
I think we might get destroyed. First of all, we still aren't stopping the tight ends. Dustin Keller, I think, is going to have a great game against the Bills, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Chris Kelsey may have gotten his 4-year extension, but he can't cover tight ends. I don't know.
We got Paz back, though.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, that's a good thing, though, but I don't know who's going to be on coverage. That's the only thing. He's the inside back.
All right.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't think we're going to stop the run. I think we're still having trouble with that. And I know this is really negative. And finally, and you guys might want to hurt me on this one, I still think our secondary is overrated. I really do.
Actually, no, I tend to agree with that. We have a very young secondary. It may be our best part of the team.
Yeah, but they're not looking like the best part of the team. They're putting up 38 points last week.
Yeah, I mean, our defense is really mad. I mean, the defensive coordinator said was really mad that we put up 30 points and lost the game. That's not, we can't. Of course, Tom Brady is an amazing quarterback. But, all right, we have something to mention. We have a package we put together, and it's a Booker Edgerson interview. And the reason we did this is he is getting inducted into the Bills Wall of Fame at halftime of the Bills game this weekend. And so we have an interview for you. So here it is.
Booker Edgerson is being inducted into the Bills Wall of Fame this week. I decided to interview Booker about the Bills' back-to-back AFL championships and the honor of being inducted into the Wall of Fame. Booker, describe your feelings on being inducted into the Wall of Fame.
Being on the Wall of Fame is something that's outstanding. I can sit and try to describe it, and each time I do it, it's going to be different because it's a great moment. It's something that, I am the 26th individual that's going on that wall. Think of how many guys have played football here in Buffalo, and they're not up there. It's a great honor. That's all I can say. It's a great honor.
How proud are you of the back-to-back AFL championships?
Oh, I think it's great. A lot of folks say, yeah, but it was American Football League. It doesn't make any difference, It was only the National Football League. To me, Cleveland Browns or Green Bay Packers, champs is champs. Whatever league you're in, you're a champ. I always thought that the American Football League, if they had not merged with the National Football League, I think the National Football League would have went under, not the American Football League, because people really love the style of football. And if you look at it right now, we play American Football League, style of football.
Down the field, yeah.
Yeah, passing and backs coming out of the backfield and in the slots and stuff like that. So we're the innovators, and I think we kept the fans in the stand, and because they like that fast game. We was the MTV in the '60s.
With your advocacy for retired players' compensation, what do you hope for out of the future collective bargaining agreement?
Well, first of all, it's always about the current players because that's the CBA. However, we have 4, 5, 6 issues on the table about former retired players, and number one is retirement. There was different types of retirement levels from the pre-93ers, that goes back, and so we're trying to look at a compensation based on that's going to make it fair in terms of those guys coming up. The other thing is the health care. There's a lot of guys that they play the game, and the league have said in the past is that, wait a minute, they haven't played the game in 10, 15 years. Well, sometimes it takes 10, 15 years or 20 years down the line before those injuries show up. And so therefore, they should be liable for that, just like even companies, when they have different policies and they have different things in place for workers like coal miners and stuff like that, is that they know that this stuff is not going to show up until 15, 20 years later. I taught school on the off season, and I worked for the phone company later on the off season. But we had to have a job because we wasn't making any money. Back in those days, the owners was making all the money and everything, and the players really wasn't making any money. Now, the players is getting their fair share, and so we feel that that's a very well compensated situation, and so therefore the players is getting compensated based on the things that we did back in those days. So that's why we're looking for the current players today in the CBA to negotiate the former retired players into the contract, so now we can get our just due.
Is there anything else that you think that younger fans should be made aware of that hasn't been mentioned today?
For the young fans out there, is just stick with the Bills because they will return. When you look at a lot of other teams across the league, the Bills is in better shape than those other teams. And I tell you, the Bills need to be in Western New York. They don't need to be anywhere else. I don't see them going anywhere else. And so, young fans, stick with the team. Do your criticism, but stick with the team.
Thanks, Justin, for that interview. All right, that was a pretty good interview. I like some of the points about. What about you?
No, that was good, and I just want to thank Booker Edgerson again, and I'm going to air the full interview up during the bye week. So.
All right, Nakia, what did you think of it?
I thought it was great. I didn't have much knowledge of the game with the whole AFL, NFL split, so it was good to get some info.
All right, cool. All right, now it's time for our keys of the game. My key to the game is stopping the run. They have been terrible against the run in the first 3 games. They need to do it in case we
I think they need to stop the long ball because last week we scored 30 points and we still lost, so they got to stop the long ball this week.
All right, Jerry, what's your...
Thank you, Sean. It's pressure to Mark Sanchez, all right? We just make him throw 7 interceptions, all right?
Like last time?
Well, it was 6 last time.
Where are you at? Okay. All right, now it's time for our picks of the game. My pick of the game is Bills win it 31-28.
I have the Bills losing, unfortunately, 28-24.
Unfortunately, they're going to get destroyed 23-10.
All right, thank you for joining us this week, and join us next week against the Jaguars and Trent Edwards. See you then. Hi, and welcome to Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 5 against Jacksonville Jaguars. All right, today's top story, Marshawn Lynch traded to the Seattle Seahawks. All right, guys, what do you think about this? Do we prefer him to be traded? I mean, what's going on here?
Well, he probably had the most trade value out of him and Jackson, but frankly, Jackson, I think, is the better back at this point, and he'd probably be the better mentor for Spiller. But you can see that they weren't getting the carries to all three running backs, so I think Jackson and Spiller will be able to get more there. Hopefully it's just not a sign of more gutting this year for rebuilding.
All right, that's what I was saying. This is the rebuilding year, Nakia, I think. I'm saying that. It really is. You said we've been rebuilding for 10 years, but any of the previous regimes, they didn't do any of this. They didn't get rid of not key players, but players that we thought were good, and they cut Trent, and they got rid of Marshawn. That's cutting and rebuilding. That's what they needed to do, and that's what this regime is. And I like that. What do you think?
I don't think you rebuild by cutting decent players. I mean, I'm not a fan of Trent Edwards, so I don't really care. I'm not really a fan of the 3-back system either, so I don't know which one of the three of them should have gone, but I knew somebody eventually was going to have to go because none of them were getting carries, none of them were getting yards. They were kind of spreading things thin. So somebody had to go. It was just a matter of who.
Yeah, all right.
I didn't think he would be the one.
Do you like the draft pick they got, or the thing in return, the 4th round draft pick?
4th round and a 5th or 6th.
I mean, no. I mean,
because that's trade value. It means Randy Moss just got a 3.
Well, yeah. I mean that's good for. I mean, I'm not a fan of Bills draft picks anyway, so I don't think you do anything with them anyway. So I mean, whatever. If you can get a draft pick for them and not just other players, then hopefully they do something with it.
Yeah. All right. Top story for the game. Trent Edwards coming back as the backup for the Jaguars. This is a big story, obviously, and we put together a little package for you guys, and here it is.
I'm moving on, but no one's moving with me. I don't think I could be any more aware of myself without you. All the things that we never talk about are so over-prepared and so over-read. Gotta know where a child in a small town got something to say, but it's all down. Gotta know where a child in a small town.
That was our tribute to our fallen players. All right, now a quick breakdown of the game. All right, Nakia, the running back situation. Do we think? I mean, obviously Fred Jackson and Spiller are going to get more. Time? What do you think?
The two of them together will kind of be good. I think Spiller is a good kind of receiving back. Fred Jackson is good with the run. So I think the two of them split together. Between the two of them, it should work out pretty good.
Is it better to have? Did Marshawn Lynch not fit in there, or was it just they were all pretty decent? And
I think he could do a little of both. I think he was bigger. I think he could take and hit better than the two of them.
Yeah, I think he could too. Just their offensive line. Okay. The linebackers we faced the last couple of weeks, or every week, they just destroyed us. I mean, so what do you think?
Line sucks, can't block him, simply put.
I mean, Mercedes Lewis, is he going to destroy us this week, or what?
Well, for tight end, our outside backers are terrible. They can't cover, so no, it's just going to be more of the same. Not going to lie. No optimism.
All right.
That said, I'll say this. Yay, NFL blackouts. Good job. Way to keep the average fan who can't afford to go to the games from watching. Consider you make most of your money from TV, not from tickets.
All right, thank you for that, Justin. The Bills are 0-4, and we have a little package we put together on how Bills fans felt before the season started. All right, here it is.
Ralph Wilson Stadium, home to some of the most loyal Bills fans you'll ever meet. Earlier this year, near Boostendorfer Street, I attended the Two Bills Drive tailgate and asked some fans about their expectations for this year. Hi, Jane. Justin saying gotta ask, what are your expectations for the Bills this season?
What do I expect?
Yes.
I expect mediocrity. I'm optimistic that it won't happen, though. Let's put it that way.
Okay. And I gotta ask, what would you predict the record to be for the season?
0-15.
They're going to be probably 7-9 again.
All right. El, what are your expectations? What do you expect out of them realistically?
Trent Edwards to be a good quarterback would be awesome. Not get scared.
Okay.
Even though he got hurt on that concussion before, but he's got to be a leader and step up and do the job.
What are your expectations for the Bills this season?
Low.
Low?
Yeah.
What do you think their record will be?
3-13, 4-12.
I think the Bills are going to go 8-8 this year. I will take it. It's an improvement from previous years. They're starting to build on something good.
What are your expectations for the season?
High.
High? You're expecting to go for what kind of record then?
At least 10 wins.
10 wins, so 10 and 6 you'd expect minimum? All right, I like that.
Well, I think they're going to do some great things. I think we've been disappointed now for a decade, so I'm hoping maybe we can see some new things on the field.
I hope to see them go like 8-6 and some playoff champs.
I don't really see them doing that well. It's probably 4-12.
Okay. 2010 is the season to believe, so I decided to ask fans about their hopes this year. What are your hopes for the season?
Man, my hopes are very high. I want to see players like Roscoe Parrish and CJ Spiller used to their full potential.
I agree with
a little more creativity. Just general, have them look a little more like an NFL team.
What are your hopes for the season?
To get the first pick in the draft next year and take Jake Locker in the draft.
Okay, so you're not high on Edwards, I take it.
Not really.
I just hope that the defense can hold its own, and they can. Like I said, anything can happen. So it's football. I hope that they stick in Buffalo.
Okay, that's kind of pessimistic, but all right. Overall, there were very optimistic fans and very pessimistic fans. This woman sums it up the best.
Hey, can I say a hell yeah? Bills make me want to shout, woo!
Crazy Bills fans. Jeez. All right, now it's time for a Bills topic discussion. Do we think Ryan Fitzpatrick is the long-term answer? And I know what both your answers are, but just want to get your opinion. What do you think?
Definitely not. Not at all. He doesn't have the experience. I think we need an experienced quarterback to kind of show these guys how to.
What about a draft pick?
No.
Okay, and Dustin?
He sucks.
He's not very good.
He sucks.
All right, now it's time to mention do a little shout out. We're gonna post a link on the page for this guy. He's a good viewer of ours. He's Wesley, and he has a video up, and he's doing a high school fundraiser for a football stadium. And we'd like you to check that video out. He's trying to get some money, and we'll do that. All right. Thank you. The keys and picks. All right, my key to the game is run the ball because, frankly, we sucked at running against the Pats. What's your?
My key is stopping the run. They're facing Maurice Jones-Drew, and he's a decent back. So I think our front seven have to step up.
All right, cheers.
Take your Xanax and enjoy Murph and Kazoo on the radio.
All right, now it's time for the picks of the game. We have the Bills winning in a high-scoring affair, 31-20. What's yours?
Wow, I'm still not confident they're going to get over the hump. I have them losing 28-10.
All right, and what's yours?
17-16, Bills.
See, we are optimistic. And he reminded me that the last time the Bills went 0-4, they went 9-7. That's not going to happen because the Bills are terrible and it's a rebuilding year. Thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Ravens. What the f*** are you doing? Join us 2 weeks from now. Go Sabres! Bills piss me off. Hi, and welcome to Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 7 against the Baltimore Ravens. Our top story is actually our injury report this week. Cornell Green, he's out. So what do you think this is going to affect? How do you think this will affect the Bills' line, Jared?
Well, we have Howard starting, who's actually a backup guard, so we have no right tackle. Simple as that. We need one.
Nakia, this is...
I will say once again, we're shuffling the line around, so there's no consistency, so they don't learn to play together, so we'll see what happens.
It's crazy. Okay, another story. Sean Nelson is back. Injury and got suspended. And so I don't know if that's going to affect us a lot. What do you think, Nakia?
Maybe with him having another target, it'll kind of open up the offense a little bit. Because I don't know, our tight ends haven't really been involved. So maybe with him coming back, with him being a halfway decent tight end, it'll get him involved in the offense.
Yeah. Jared, Ed Reed, he's a game time decision, but that'd be big if he got back. So what do you think about that?
Truly, I think the Ed Reed game time decision thing is the game itself. If Ed Reed comes back, that's going to shift momentum to the Ravens like that. It'll be like when Teddy Bruschi came back. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Like 5 years ago or whatever. It'll just be like that. Oh, Ed Reed's back, first game ever. Then they'll totally have the game, no questions asked. But that's my opinion, though. Do you agree? Or?
Yeah. I mean, if he's as good as he says, as we think he is, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. So I mean, he should shut us down on no-name receivers. We'll talk about that later. All right. Now it's time for a breakdown from the Baltimore Ravens fan, Joe from Baltimore Ravens Online. All right, here he is.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Joe, Baltimore Ravens Online too. Okay, so the Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens get together this weekend at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, Maryland. And as a Ravens fan, the winless 0-5 Bills coming into a hostile environment like M&T Bank Stadium does not scare me. Why? Because Buffalo, the Bills, are going to get a taste of what Baltimore football is really like. Baltimore is seeking revenge against this New England loss. Unfortunately, it's coming the Bills' way. Gotta give you mad props, Bills fans, but I'm sorry, this week, this inch week, another grave dog, an 0-6 start. Sorry about that. But anyway, man, respect to you guys anyway. Now, you want to take a look at the Ravens offense versus the Buffalo Bills defense. And I gotta give the edge to the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Buffalo, legit defense, especially when it comes to defending the pass, led by people like Terrence McGee and Jarius Byrd. Now, even though Joe Flacco's been struggling with accuracy and play calling, I think he's going to have a breakout game. I'm talking 200-plus yards, 1, 2, maybe 3 touchdowns. Finding the hot routes, getting the ball out of his hands, into the hands of his receivers, getting in the end zone, getting yards needed, and winning the football game offensively. I think T.J. Houshmandzadeh and Anquan Boldin, 2 receivers that are expected to have breakout games against the Bills. Not forgetting our old friend Tahi, who's having a remarkable season, and as well as Derek Mason. Maybe throw in Ed Dixon here and there. So I think the passing game should have a great game against the Buffalo Bills this weekend. Now you take a look at Baltimore's running game versus Buffalo's running defense. Now, even though Ray Rice and company has not lived up to the expectations of us Baltimore fans this year, don't expect that this game. Expect a lot more against the 32nd rushing defense on the Buffalo Bills side. Frankly, the worst rushing defense in the National Football League. I expect Ray Rice to have a breakout game. I expect the running game to flourish against the Buffalo Bills. And frankly, if it's not Joe Flacco and the receivers finding the hot routes, getting around the receivers, and getting in the end zone, it's going to be Ray Rice and company. Then you take a look at Baltimore's defense versus Buffalo's offense. You know, I got to give major props to Ryan Fitzpatrick, people like Fred Jackson, C.J. Spiller. They've turned this offense around dramatically. But again, this game just ain't your game. The edge is going towards the Baltimore Ravens. Ed Reed's coming back. So Ryan Fitzpatrick, my man, those 7 touchdowns on the season, don't expect anything more this football game. It's going to stay 7 when you leave Baltimore. That secondary's playing A-OK. The way these defensive backs are positioned, going Baltimore's way all the way. And Buffalo, time after time again, has shown they really can't do nothing to stop the pass rush. Haloti Ngata, Ray, Terrell Suggs, Corey Redding, people like this are going to be coming after Ryan Fitzpatrick, shutting down that run game, led by Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller. And that secondary is going to step up against people like Parrish and Lee Evans and people like that. So I expect the Buffalo offense to struggle a lot. Frankly, their defense has to come on the field a lot more. Their offense just can't get the job done. Their defense is going to get tired. Their offense is going to be weared out by the Ravens' defense, and Buffalo is going to get shut down. I want to give props to their special teams, though. I want to give props to the entire Buffalo Bills. Now, one thing I want to mention, though, I know Green, their right tackle, was out for this game, which is going to help Haloti Ngata get to that quarterback a lot faster come Sunday. I expect this to be a great game for Baltimore. I expect Baltimore to flourish, and I got to give the edge to the Baltimore Ravens. Most likely winning this, I want to say 34-7 against the Buffalo Bills. If that, maybe 34-3. Like I said, I don't expect Ryan Fitzpatrick to walk away with any touchdowns this game. I'm Joe, Be More Ravens Online.
That was Joe from Be More Ravens Online too. All right, Jared, you know a lot about this video. What do you think about this?
Well, I think the breakdown was very accurate in terms of it is going Baltimore's way. I can't lie. But I think this is a trap game. I think, okay, you can look like that, but I think this is a trap game because we just came off our bye. They're one game closer to their bye. Our offense, I think, is going to do a lot better than he thinks. We've been scoring. Fitzpatrick's not going to get shut down. He's going to score at least one touchdown.
I disagree.
Okay. What? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, they have a top defense. They're just knocking us in the mouth. I mean, Fitzpatrick is going to... I mean, he's not a very good running quarterback away from pressure, and our offensive line is beaten up, and they have just, like, Ray Lewis. It's just phenomenal. We're going to get
I think they're going to be pissed off because they let that game slip away last week. So I just think, even though, yeah, they're going into a bye week, they're going to be so pissed off because they know they should have won that game on Sunday. So it's just more ammunition. We didn't even have to do anything. And it's like, we're 0-5. Yes, they probably are not going to put in as much work, but they figured we don't have to.
Yeah, but Ray Lewis, there is a quote, I heard it yesterday. Ray Lewis already said, oh, we're going to beat down on Buffalo, as if he's already expecting it. When you come into a game expecting it to go your way, like it's going to be nothing.
If they were playing here, if they were playing in Buffalo, I might give them a decent shot. They're playing in Baltimore, so it's still going to be a loss.
I just think, okay, it's going to be a loss, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think.
All right. Now it's time for Bills topics of discussion, and we'll leave this to guys to answer this one. Which team has the best cheerleaders? So Jared, this comes from the Wise Guys TV, and what do you think about this question?
Packers cheerleaders.
And why do you say that?
I don't know. They're cute.
Okay. And I'll go with Miami cheerleaders because they're hot.
Really? You like Miami?
Oh my God, they've been. What are they in Sports Illustrated? They've been like everything. All right.
Oh, all right.
All right. Now it's time for keys and picks of the game. My key to the game is scoring. Okay, what's yours?
Mine is stopping the run. I think between Ray Rice and Willis McGahee getting the face us again, they're gonna run all over us.
No, what's yours?
Finishing the second half, we can't seem to finish at all. We just lose it after halftime. We got to finish the second half and finish strong.
Which happens to be scoring, because if your offense is off the field and your defense and offense are on the field an equal amount of time, then you'll have a good full game. Now it's time for the picks of the game. I picked the Bills to lose 42-14. What do you think, Nakia?
I'm not going that far, but I'll say 35-17.
And what about you?
26-23 Ravens. Trap it.
All right, thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Chiefs pregame show. Thank you. Bye.
Party on, Garth.
Alright, welcome to the Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to our Halloween special episode. All right, today we're going to talk about the last game. All right, guys, what do you think happened in the last game?
I think they started out really well like they always do, but like I always say, they don't know how to win. They don't know how to close it out. So it was a great game to start with, but once again, second half comes and they fall off.
I know, Justin, you weren't here for the last episode, but last episode we talked about how they had no receivers and how they really didn't have any production from them. What do you think's changed? I mean, obviously Lee had 3 touchdowns. Steve Johnson got one in there. So what do you think?
I think you guys are on crack. The receivers have actually been playing well since Fitzpatrick took over. Stevie Johnson's had a touchdown, 4 games in a row now, or 5 games? He's been playing. Lee Evans has been picking it up strong, and when you have a guy that's willing to throw the ball deep, Lee Evans plays for that guy. So, along with that, Roscoe Parrish, he's getting involved, and David Nelson's starting to get involved as well, so I like that.
All right, Jared. Okay, all right. Top story today, Trent Gator returns to Kansas City. So what do you think is going to happen here, Nakia?
I'm hoping that they can do something better. Our defense has to definitely step it up. Matt Castle has actually come back this year with the, I guess, New England Patriots made everybody thought he was such a great quarterback, and last year wasn't so great. But this year he's actually starting to come back, and maybe he does have the potential New England thought he had.
I'm going to disagree with you there. New England, yeah, he was able to air it out to Randy Moss and all the weapons there. If you look at his stats, he's been playing safe. He's been playing the kind of West Coast offense style. He's not throwing it deep. I would say that the Chiefs' offense runs off of 2 people, Thomas Jones and Jamal Charles. Without them 2, they're not going to win games. That's what it comes down to, that and their defense. Their defense has been very strong. You got to watch out for Tom Bahali. You got to watch out for rookie Eric Berry. And most of all, you got to watch out for Derek Johnson. Their team is going to be strong, but you got to basically take away your 2 offensive weapons from them first.
All right, now on to the game. Should we score a lot? I mean, we scored a lot last game, and we've been scoring pretty good. Nakia, what do you think about this?
If we can continue scoring, that's great. But like I said, scoring without defense really doesn't help anything. So I think we probably can continue the streak. The guys seem to kind of be gelling good. And like you said, Ryan Fitzpatrick will throw the long ball, and Lee Evans will go get it. So I hope we can continue to score.
Well, I'm going to say this. Kansas City does not have an offense set up to score quick touchdowns all the time. You have to try and run it up on them, kind of like Dick Vermeil did for the 99 Rams. He tried to make sure his defense was able to cover up and maybe get some big play interceptions and stuff like that, and allow his offense to score a lot of points, outscore the team as opposed to beat them.
All right, any impact players on Kansas City?
Jamal Charles, Thomas Jones, Tom Bahali, Eric Berry, Glenn Dorsey, Derek Johnson, they're all good players.
All right, so now we're talking about the defense. Can we generate a pass rush? Because this is
I'm trying to remember when the last time we had more than 1 or 2 sacks a game.
They have 8 sacks in the season. That's
right.
it.
So I mean, that's something we have to work on. I don't understand why that's not happening with all the defensive end and linemen that we have. Marcus Stroud is supposedly supposed to be a good player. We're supposed to have a decent core of linebackers, and nothing is happening.
Well, in a 3-4, you rarely have a DN that actually gets sacks. Bruce Smith was the anomaly, which makes him one of the greatest of all time. He did something that nobody else has ever been able to do out of a 3-4 at the DN spot. Your pass rush comes from your linebackers more often than not, and look at our linebackers, especially our outside linebackers. Chris Kelsey is a fish out of water. Torbord, he's okay, he's not great. In fact, he can be a liability at times. So, yeah, I don't exactly think that we're going to generate a pass rush. We miss Schobel big time.
Do we have a tight end threat? From the Kansas City? What?
Moyaki has been their leading receiver. That said, he's more of a horizontal threat, not a vertical threat.
All right. Will Kansas City just run the ball? Nakia, what do you think on this?
No, I think their run will probably set up the little bit of passing that Castle can do. So they're going to do a little bit of both because they do have great running backs. They're going to use them. You should, if you have them, you should put them to use. So I think they will.
All right, Justin. Now it's time for the topic of discussion. Why don't you explain this?
All right, from Sports Bowl 3, what do you think of the prospects in the 2011 draft? Who can we pick besides QB? Well, I've been analyzing here with all of our different sheets, guys that we could have within our draft pick slot. Jake Locker looks like one that we could possibly have. We could also have Andrew Luck as far as quarterbacks go. Adrian Claiborne could be a decent DN for us. He's projected to be towards the top. Cameron Hayward is another name that comes up. Alan Bailey, they're all defensive ends, but they all look like they have the size to be a 3-4 DN as opposed to a 4-3 DN. You can look at outside backers where we need a lot of help. You want a big, strong outside backer that's about 260 pounds, 250 pounds that can rush the quarterback. Jeremy Beal is up there from Oklahoma, but besides that, there aren't too many 3-4 backers listed as an outside backer at this point. D tackle, we don't really need a true nose tackle, but we could always use the size at DN. That said, I'm hoping we go defense. Our offense has actually looked pretty good. Hopefully we just re-sign the people that are keeping it running well right now.
All right, now it's time for the keys of the game. All right, my key to the game is just stopping the offense of the Kansas City. They're prolific, they've scored a lot of points, and that's how they've won their games. Nakia, what's yours?
I'm with you. Defense has to step up. The offense has started scoring, so now it's time for the defense to come back to do what they used to do.
All right, Justin, what's yours?
You're worried about the defense. I think it's just the offense needs to outscore KC. Run it up. Score 50 points.
All right, now it's time for the picks of the game. I'll let you guys go first. Nakia?
I am unfortunately not picking the Bills. I think that Kansas City will win, and it'll be 28-21.
All right, Justin, what about you?
I'm going to go with another shootout. It's been like that the last few weeks since Fitz took over. So I'm going to say, in a surprise, Buffalo 45, KC 38.
All right, and I'm going to pick the Bills to win 31-27. All right, thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Bears. Thank you.
Party on, Garth!
Happy Halloween.
Football! Woo! Bills suck!
Hi, and welcome to Buffalo's Pregame Show for Week 9 Chicago Bears. Breaking news, Bills fans. Sean Merriman has been claimed off waivers, and he's on the Bills. Justin, tell us about that.
All right, well, Sean Merriman did pass his physical. He was put on injured reserve on the stipulation if he got healthy, he'd be released. So Sean Merriman has 5 days from today, which is Wednesday, so he has to report to the Bills by Monday to be part of the team. If he does not report, he does not play this season, simply put. That said, I am psyched. I want to see him eat some quarterback up. We need some pass rush in the worst of ways. They haven't hit the passer at all.
And there's been a question, though, whether he can play at a top level. Well, coming back from a couple seasons ago, he was bad, but then he got off his problem, and now he supposedly he was a beast. Now, is he going to be beast again?
Oh, let's hope so. Frankly, he has to be better than Chris Kelsey as a linebacker. I'm going to say that outright. Chris Kelsey shouldn't have a job right now. So,
all right. Hopefully he can play. All right. Next, offensive breakdown. Strategy to win this game. You know, run, pass, or combo. What are you thinking, Jared?
I think we need to pass the ball to win this game. I look at the Bears' defensive players, and the only defensive back I see that's any threat is Charles Tillman. That's it. The other guys, they don't really scare me that much.
Oh, crap. Daniel Bannon.
Stop. Let me make my point.
Okay, he's having it. Okay.
But so I think we should pass the ball first, That seems to be Chan Daly's strength, and I think it's the best strength against it. They have way too much strength with Julius Peppers and Brian Urlacher in their front seven. It's going to hurt the run. So I think you got to think pass going into this game.
All right, so clearly he disagrees. So what's your point?
Julius Peppers is not a run stopper. He's a pass rusher. What the hell are you thinking? Yes, Urlacher, he's going to be strong up the middle. The Bills can run to the outside away from Lance Briggs and run at Pisantina Isamoa, who is the weaker linebacker on that core. That said, their D-line is not as good as it was when they had all the D tackles a couple years back. But Daniel Manning is not as slouch as a safety, and Charles Tillman, I'll agree, is a good defensive back. I would say you got to have a combo, mix it up. You can't just be throwing it 60 times a game.
All right, okay. So how big of a threat are Urlacher and Peppers? I mean, that's...
Well, Peppers, he's going to be a threat. He's going to keep our tackles busy the whole game. I think Jared can agree with that.
Yeah, and Urlacher has, I think, is even injured right now a little bit.
He might be a little nicked up, but he's been playing well this season. Urlacher, he's going to be up the middle and side to side on basically every play. He's that good of a linebacker. So I think he's going to be a pretty good threat, but he's not going to be in Fitz's face all game like Clay Matthews was, though. That's not what he does.
All right. Now let's have the defensive breakdown. Can we finally have a pass rush? I mean, Jared, what do you think?
Well, the Bears this season are notorious for actually having a worse line than us, believe it or not. Like, they're I don't know what game it was, Justin, help me out here. The game where Jay Cutler had 9 sacks against him.
I couldn't even help you there because Todd Collins ended up finishing it.
Right, so yeah, Todd Collins has even been starting because Cutler got hurt at one point. I just think apparently Justin's getting a text message during our show here. But the thing is, with Jay Cutler and the offensive line, first of all, I don't trust Cutler's quarterback mentality. I've said it for a long time. I would never want him as a starting quarterback. That's just my personal opinion. And the line, I don't have any faith in. So I think for the first time, with Kyle Williams and perhaps maybe even, I don't know, let's say Pavlovsky maybe doing some blitzing, we can actually have some pass rush.
All right. Another thing, will the running back be able to run?
Matt Forte, he can run the ball, but Mike Martz is the quarterback, and that's just one thing that it's kind of diametrically opposed. Mike Martz is known for going down the field. Guess what? Jay Cutler is known for getting killed when looking for the ball down the field. So they don't work out that well. Hopefully Mike Martz has learned a few lessons for Bears fans' sakes, but I just don't see them rushing for 300 yards like every other team does against the Bills.
All right, now it's time for a package that our producer Jared here put together.
Toronto, Ontario. Apparently, you need a passport now to get across the border. Didn't know that when I started this. So therefore, I decided to go talk.
How the time has flown. Okay, you know what you're doing here then, right?
Yeah.
Revenue producer.
Right.
Only one game. My season tickets are less because I don't have to pay I don't have to pay for the Toronto game. So my season tickets are less. If it's going to help me in a revenue source, and we're a small market, if that's going to help, it's fine. That'll keep us there even better.
So you're in favor of the whole...
It's not that I'm in favor. It's just like I understand why they do it. I would wish we didn't have to do it, but I understand why. We need all these revenue sources in order to keep a small market team going.
Right.
So I would rather we don't do it, but my season ticket is less, so that's good. But, you kind of understand.
Yeah. They actually do decrease the price.
I don't mind that it's a Chicago game as long as it was an AFC East game. I don't like if they put a Miami game or a Jets game up in Toronto.
Right.
I don't care if it's the Bears or the Lions or something. So, yeah, and to me, the Toronto game's an away game. It's always on TV, so to me, it's just another away game.
Listen, what was that? It was kind of interesting. Did you even interview more than one person? Yeah. All right. What are you having a discussion about, guys?
Well, frankly, I'm thinking about this, and Ralph Wilson fleeced Mr. Rogers quite bad, and the Bills have actually been one of the more profitable franchises because of the Toronto deal, but it just sucks. That's the only way the Bills can be competitive money-wise with Jerry Jones and the Cowboys and the Daniel Snyders of the Redskins and so on. It's just not worth it. keep the team at home where they freaking belong. I want to see.
But how do you find ways to generate more revenue?
Big so.
Simple. Have the collective bargain agreement tax the luxury suites of those big teams. They get off without having those big suite money be redispersed.
All right.
So that's a simple solution there.
I agree.
All right. And now it's time for the keys and picks of the game.
Well, my key for this game is just hoping the Bills could actually run right. Simply put, run right. Run away from Lance Briggs.
Okay. Run right. What's yours?
Mine's just finish the game strong. I know I've said that before, but 2 overtime games in a row.
Yeah.
We're coming right down the wire. We can't finish the game. It's really getting to me. We gotta finish one of these games. That's the only way we're gonna win.
All right. All right. And mine is just, the defense has been playing bad the last 2 games. I mean, they played good and they shut them out, but, basically. But, the offense is putting up mad points and the defense has got to step it up so we can win some games here. All right, now it's time for the picks of the game. I'll let you guys go first again. Jared, go first.
I'm going to say we finally get one because the Bears suck. 19-10 Bills.
All right, and Justin?
17-17. Yes, no winners. I'm predicting
You're predicting a tie?
A fifth quarter game again. And, well, they go a step up this time.
You know? Okay, never mind.
Okay, and I'm predicting a 23-20 Bills win. Very close. All right, join us next week for the Lions. Lions.
Right.
Pregame Show for Week 10 against the Lions. Alright, top story today, all these injuries. Andre Davis, Roscoe Parrish, Cordo Howard, and Sean Merriman. How's this going to affect the teams, Justin?
Well, Davis and Parrish are on IR, so Roscoe not being a punt returner, that's going to hurt quite a bit. Andre Davis, he was very solid up the middle. Guess what? That can mean a big game for Javid Best this week. Beyond that, Cordero Howard, I think he's a step above Mansfield Rado. Definitely a step above the right tackle he had at the beginning of the year, Cornell Green. And, well, Sean Merriman, you can't say there's going to be any difference if he's hurt. Because he hasn't played yet.
We don't know, yeah.
We don't know yet.
All right.
On the other side, though, Matthew Stafford is hurt. That could be a big thing. Don't you agree, Nakia?
Yeah, Nakia, what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, he was kind of having a pretty decent season so far. It'll be interesting to see if they can actually win a game, too. They're kind of in the same boat we're in. We get really close, but they can't shut the door. So it'll be interesting to see if the backup can help them get over that hurdle.
Well, on top of that, they don't have a kicker either.
True.
They don't have a kicker, thanks to Rex Ryan.
All right, now it's time for the offensive breakdown. What's our strategy against the Lions, Nakia? Because, this could be a high-scoring game, and we don't know. So what are we going to do here?
I don't know about high scoring, but I think it may actually be an exciting game because the Bills have gotten so close for the last 3 weeks. Not sure if they're going to pull out a win, but, I think against the Lions, just like anybody else, you got to stop the run.
All right, Justin, what do you think about that?
Well, for our offense, the biggest thing is going to be basically putting all 5 guys on the Ndamukong Suh and hoping that they can block him. Maybe, just maybe. That said, Ryan Fitzpatrick has to get that mental block out where late in the game he's not throwing a pick or Fred Jackson not fumbling in the fourth quarter. Those are going to be mental blocks there. The Lions are not a team that knows how to win. If they know how to win, they would be 4-4, 5-3, 6-2 right now. But they don't know how to win either. So this is going to be a game where it could come down to the end, and it could be like a 23-23 tied or something goofy like that.
Like another tie?
Yeah, pretty close, you know.
Okay, all right. All right, now let's have a defensive breakdown. It's a big game for Best. So what do you think about that?
Javid Best is a good rookie running back. Difference between him and Spiller is Best is better up the middle right now. Fortunately for him, he has a better line to work in front of him, and they're able to open up some holes for him. That's one thing that CJ Spiller hasn't quite caught on to yet.
All right, now we put a package together. The Bills haven't had a home game in a while, so we're going to show you a little bit about tailgating.
Nothing like getting up at 7 in the morning on a Sunday. I had to sleep 11 hours just to prepare for it. Now I'm waiting to get picked up. After I was picked up, we went to get hot chocolate and dropped off the dog with my uncle's dog so they could have a play day. Not even kidding there. Then we packed up the van and drove to my Uncle Jim's house. Then it was at that time where we experienced a serious problem.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. So anyway, here we are in my aunt's van, and it's 10:10 right now, and Sean is not here. He's supposed to be, and we don't know where he is. My aunt and niece is supposed to be on the football field at 11 o'clock. It's 50 minutes till game time, and we're hoping everything's okay.
We have to make a decision. He's not even answering his phone. It means that I don't know what happened with him. What should we do? What do you want to do?
I don't know.
I can't believe this. I'm so proud of myself. Get here early, do everything on time. And then...
What is this?
Well, why don't we,
Let me see if I can find them.
Oh, gosh. I can't believe this. I'm worried. I'm worried.
A few minutes later, we learned that Sean was just fine, but he was just going to miss the carpool. At that point, worry turned to annoyance.
In reference to the family tailgate, we're not usually this
Where's your
late.
directions,
We usually have more people, but
You need to
unforeseen
give
circumstances.
Sean a hard time.
Due to one of the hosts, Sean Lauer.
You need to give him a hard time.
Sean Lauer, who the one
Does
that's
he not
who's
have
the
a
one
watch
that's making us late. So I hope
He
when
said he
this is
didn't go to bed
discussed on
until
the
5
show
o'clock
that
this morning.
he gets ridiculed.
And
I'm going to call in the show.
Like I've never gone to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I know. You need to give him a hard time. I'm not going to do it. You're going to do it.
Jared, you got to do it.
I have to give him a hard time?
Right, because college boys are... 5 o'clock was like a norm on a week.
Because of Sean, we were an hour and a half late to the tailgate. To be honest, I was okay that we only had an hour to tailgate. It was raining, the burgers were getting wet and sparky, rain gear was beginning to fall apart. The best part about the tailgate was just talking about the game. Vinny, tell me your expectations for today's game.
Bills are going to win 27-14.
Oh, that's the exact score, huh?
Yep.
All right.
Going to get 2 interceptions.
We need interceptions. We haven't had any yet. Throughout most of the tailgate, we were still trying to call Sean since we had to lock the car before going into the game, and we had his rain gear. But finally, 40 minutes before the game started, Sean showed up.
There he is.
He made it. They probably know each other. I got your rain gear there. I don't think
He didn't cross up. Take a look, did he?
I don't remember.
It's in there.
Hey, Sean, what the hell? Get a team right away? They paid him like...
With Sean's arrival, it was time to go to the game. Does anybody remember who won the game? That's right, it was the Jets, 38-14. The Bills looked horrible, and we all got depressed. Well, sorta.
Someone's caught in it.
This is the family tailgate after the game in the pouring rain. Any last words?
Go Bills!
We'll come back.
So that's how my family tailgates. It may have not been a typical tailgate, but like the Bills themselves, you never know what'll happen.
Oh, great package there, Jared. All right.
Sean, so how hammered were you coming into that?
Not at all.
And Jared, Producer, you're a big wuss. Come on. Only 1 hour and you're fine with that? You should be tailgating from 7 a.m. to friggin' 1 p.m., you wuss. Man up.
All right. After that note, we're gonna do the keys and picks of the game. Nakia, what's your key to the game?
The key to the game is the Bills have to learn how to win. They got to learn how to shut the door. They've come really close, and they still haven't learned to win yet.
All right, Justin, what's yours?
Block and Ndamukong Suh. Simply put, he's destroying every offensive line he's facing. You got to block him, man.
All right, mine's score some more points because I like points.
You're right. Points? Really?
I like the Bills scoring lots of points. Okay, now it's time for the keys or the pick to the game. Nakia, what's yours?
I am picking Detroit 28-17.
All right, and yours?
Buffalo 24-21. Has to happen at some point. Come on.
And I agree with Justin. The score is going to be 28-24 Bills. Okay, thank you for joining us this week. I have a little tidbit here. The Lions have not won a road game in 3 years. The last one's against the Bears in 2007.
24 straight losses. Let's make it 25.
Let's do it. All right, go Bills. See you guys later. See you guys next week for the Bengals.
Okay, Bills pregame. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, welcome to Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 11 against the Bengals. Okay, this is a live show this week, guys, and it's going to be exciting. All right, cool. The return of the Bills, Fitzpatrick, to Cincinnati is a key story for today. Justin, what do you think about this?
Fitzy gets to show off that he may be a better quarterback than when he was behind Carson Palmer. Who knows? We'll see. Not really a whole lot of a story there.
All right, well, T.O. returning to Buffalo, or against Buffalo, his former team, and he had a little media thing there. What do you have on that?
He's actually having a pretty good season, so it should be interesting to see how, our secondary defends against him. He's doing a lot better than Chad, which I don't know if I really expected that. I thought T.O. might have got stopped and Chad would have had the better season, but with him having a good season, it's interesting to see, and Fitzpatrick going back after the way he played last week, it should be interesting. I have a little bit more confidence in him after watching him play on Sunday.
All right.
I'd still rather have Stevie. That's just my take.
Who?
Stevie Johnson.
All right.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Offensive breakdown now, guys. Strategy to win the game. I'll just ask both of you, what do you think?
Well, Cincy's defense is not that great. They're the bigger reason why Cincy is losing as many games as they have. So, honestly, I think we give them a heavy dose of Fred and a lot of play action with Fitz, and we should be fine.
Yeah, I think that Stevie and Fred are going to do that, but what do you think?
I actually agree with him on this one. I'm really hoping Fred.
Oh my God, she's agreed.
I'm really hoping that Fred has another great game. He had a great game last week, thanks to him. Nice fantasy wins last week, so I'm hoping he continues. I'm hoping that Lee Evans can get in the game. He didn't have a lot of impact on the game. He missed a couple of touchdowns, so that kind of screwed us. So I'm hoping that Lee catches some balls this week and it works out.
All right, next topic. Will Leon Hall disrupt Fitzpatrick's passing attempts? Justin, what do you think about this?
No, he's a good quarterback, but I think that Fitzpatrick's just going to throw it at wherever he's going to throw it at. He doesn't really worry about who is on the other team, it seems.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, strangely enough, I do. I don't think. I mean, if he was a lineman, it might be a whole different story.
Yeah.
But I don't think Fitzpatrick concerned himself with the secondary. If it was a lineman coming from the left side, then yeah, he might be somebody to be concerned about. Other than that, forget about him.
Well, from the right side, we might have to worry about Frosty Rucker. That's not a Dairy Queen treat. That's an actual defensive end. So maybe, just maybe.
All right. Next topic, defensive breakdown. How do we best defend against Batman and Robin, Chad and T.O.? So what do you think?
Honestly, they're both prima donnas, bump and run. Just get a hand on them right at the line, keep shoving at them. Be like this. Right at the line, grab them a little bit, throw them down. I think that's going to be a big thing. Actually, I'm worried more about their running game. Cedric Benson is a good running back when utilized properly.
Especially with what's his name? Chad. If you bump him, he's done.
Yeah.
If you knock him,
give up.
Yeah. If you bump him, he's done. He's not going to do anything. So hopefully Dante will get it together and actually bump and not hold. And then, we don't have any crazy pass interference calls all day.
No,
well,
he doesn't
I'd be
know when to
worried more
stop.
about Drayton and Drayton
the young guy. Yeah.
Drayton and Leotis to have to do it at the corner.
For covering them, the last game, that Puz was stuck with covering their best receiver every down, it seemed.
No, that was just a one play where Calvin Johnson had a mismatch. That should have been a timeout for the defense there. But
yeah, so they've been playing decent.
But they couldn't call a timeout in that given situation, and basically Paz was kind of left on an island against Calvin Johnson. That should never happen.
No.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was a mismatch.
That was bad defensive coordinating, great offensive coordinating at the same time.
All right, now it's time for Justin's Trivia Corner. Where did Justin go?
All right, hi and welcome to Justin's Trivia Corner. This week we will mail one lucky winner $10. If you answer the question correctly, in order to qualify, you need to personal message us both the answer to the trivia question and a topic of discussion about the Bills for the next game. You must do this through YouTube, or through Facebook. This week's question, on what day did Doug Flutie as a Charger start against Rob Johnson as a Bill? This has been Justin's Trivia Corner.
All right, thank you, Justin. All right, now it's time for the keys and picks of the game. All right, I'll go first. Key to the game is scoring points, because once again, I love points, and that's just my take. Okay.
Thank you, John Madden.
All right, Nakia,
very simplistic there.
Now that the Bills have learned how to win a game, now I think they need to learn how to shut the door. So I'm with you on the points, but I also think they got to stop.
All right. Well, I'm gonna say they need to just run the damn ball. Run it. Commit to the freaking run and give Freddie the ball 25 carries and who knows, maybe give Fitzpatrick 10 or something like that. They need to run the ball instead of throwing it when they're up by 10 or whatever. That's the one thing they really need to commit on. Don't be pass happy.
Wow, that was long. Okay.
Yes, it was.
All right. Well, we got a little time here, but we're going to go to the picks of the game now. I picked the Bills to win. I forgot my score. Was it 27? I forgot. Well, okay. He'll just put a graphic up. Go ahead.
I'm actually going to pick the Bills to win, so hopefully I'm not a jinx. But I'm going with 28-17 Bills.
Okay, so you picked the same score there. All right, cool.
All right, well, I agree. I'm going to say 31-24. I think it's going to be a shootout for the Bills. And, well, we'll see what our producer makes fun of us for on this one. So.
Oh, yeah, my score was 20-17. I remembered it. Okay.
20-17?
I don't even know.
Yeah, the Bills, you're probably right.
Yeah, the Bills suck.
Win by 3 or lose by 3 or something like that.
There's a field goal in there at all times.
Well, since the Bengals haven't beaten us since either of you guys were born, then maybe, we'll keep the streak going.
Hey, I was 1 in 1985. Get it right.
1985, that's a crazy number. I can't even believe that.
Well, back then.
So with the 2 streaks that, like, the last team, Kansas City, hasn't won a road game in, 3 years? and now they haven't beaten us in 20 years. So.
All right, well, that was Detroit, by the way, but not Kansas City, which has had a...
No, I meant not.
Yeah, but with that all in mind, the whole thing is, throughout that whole time, since he was good when we were good, they just happened to tail off during the 90s. They actually were better than us for a good chunk of the 2000s. It's just amazing they haven't won in 25 years.
We've been lucky. Hopefully we can continue the streak. I can't. If I pick them, they have to win.
Oh yeah.
I usually don't pick. I haven't picked them all season. I don't think, even though I thought they were gonna have a good record. I haven't picked them all season. So
to be fair, I think Rob Johnson won against them 8 years ago. That says a lot right there. Rob freaking Johnson.
We'll see what happens, but
That's crazy.
But
I think so.
And then also, I thought the cool thing last week was that the Bills and the Sabres won their first home games in the same consecutive days. That was cool.
I just like to see Ryan Fitzpatrick throw the block. That was great. He won me. He won me over with that one. You know, I haven't been a big fan of any of our quarterbacks, even though I like him better than Trent.
He's gonna get
He's
himself
got a mountain man, just crazy.
Anyway,
scaring me.
Anyway, we need
All
to
right,
finish this
well,
up.
join us next week for the Steelers. Thanks for joining us for this live edition.
And we're out.
Hi, welcome to Buffalo's Pregame Show for Week 12 against the Steelers. Alright, top story this week, Bills fans. A lot of media talk has been about how the Bills have turned it around. After 2 wins, I don't think so. Okay, all these media people are like, oh, Chan Gailey's our guy, you know, and Fitzpatrick's our quarterback. I'm not buying it. I really don't. Because just 2 wins and everyone jumping back on the bandwagon. I'm a diehard Bills fan. I'll support them to death. But honestly, you can't keep talking about that. And another thing, draft. We need to think about the draft, okay? I know that people say that you can't think about the draft, but you need to, okay? Because we suck and we need to get better. And the only way to get better is to suck. Nakia, what do you think?
I'm with you. Yes, 2 wins. It probably should have been more like 5 with the 3 games they had before that went to overtime. So they won 2. I'm glad they learned how to win. It's not like they won against 2 great teams anyway. So I'm not that enthused about the 2 wins. I'm glad they won. I picked them, so that's good. But draft, I'm not so keen on the draft because the Bills aren't going to pay anybody. So even I think if we did finish last, we'd have the first pick. I believe they traded because they wouldn't spend them. They wouldn't spend the money.
I don't think we're going to get the first round draft pick. I'm going to say that right now. That's not going to happen.
No.
The first pick and the first, yeah.
I don't think they're going to spend the money for, not even the top 10, I don't even think they would spend the money for.
Right.
That means that I had just turned 26, so anyway. Happy birthday.
Okay. So Jerry, what do you think about that?
Like you said, the 2 wins were against teams that have losing records. So all the losses that we've had are actually against teams that have winning records or at least 50-50 records. So you're right, they're making way too much of a hype about the wins. With regards to quarterback, it's probably the logical pick in the draft. But I don't know if Andrew Luck is going to...
Newton, you want Newton?
I want Luck. You might want Newton.
I want Newton,
but I want Luck.
And I think
Newton has character issues. So I mean, if Luck doesn't declare, then I think we should go in a different direction because I definitely don't want Locker or Newton.
Okay. Well, I want Newton because Buddy next is the SEC, pick. He was down there in the South for like 20 years, so I think.
Do you want anybody in Nakia, or are you still hoping Biggs will come?
That would be great if we had a better line, but you know.
Okay, that's our offensive breakdown. What's our strategy here? And what are they, #1 defense in the league? I think something like that.
They're pretty high up.
So, what are we thinking? Like throw and run? I mean, Fred Jackson played pretty good the last 2 games.
I actually think you can throw on Pittsburgh. Running is going to be a little tough because they're linebackers and, you know, their front seven is pretty decent. But I think if we gave him some time, I think you could actually throw on them and get down the field. Not easily, but I think you could throw on them a whole lot easier.
Johnson lighten it up?
Yes. I definitely think we can throw on them a whole lot better than running.
All right. What do you think, Jared?
No, I pretty much agree. I think throwing is the strategy. That's what the Patriots did to beat them. Running, their front seven is ridiculous. James Ferrier, James Harrison, way too many weapons up in the front seven. So
Fitz versus Polamalu is how's that going to go down?
I'm afraid, unfortunately, Fitz is going to throw a couple more INTs this week. They have a pretty good secondary too. They have a really good defense overall. I mean, it's just they will dominate the Bills' offense on Sunday. There's really nothing I can say about it.
All right. Now let's have the defensive breakdown. All right, how do you stop Big Ben? He's a good player, and their offense is obviously pretty good. What are the top teams in the league? So Nakia, what do you think?
I think you have to force him out of the pocket. He'll run if he has to when he's big enough that he can lay a hit if he has to, but he's a whole lot better if he can sit still in the pocket. So I think we got to rush him and make him run.
All right, Jared, should George Wilson be the starting player over Bird? What do you think?
Honestly, I think he should. Bird hasn't lived up to his expectations this year. Even last year,
I think it's a sophomore slump.
You think it's sophomore slump?
I think he can do really good next year. And did he was injured. That was in the beginning of the season.
Okay, yeah, but I mean Wilson's he could be starting somewhere else in the league. So I mean, I don't know. I think you got to play who's best right now.
I think problems with George Wilson though.
Oh,
because
okay. Go ahead.
You know he transferred over from a receiver to safety, and when I watch him play, he almost didn't play last week. He got on the field and made an interception, and that was like big, and then he was good. But other than that, he has not been playing good this whole season.
If he was a receiver at one point, he should have more interceptions because that means he knows how to catch the ball.
I agree.
But they don't put him in enough, though. That's why he doesn't have the interceptions.
I just think that he's not that good. I think neither. I mean, I think Bird should, if he didn't get injured, he'd be.
I think for now,
he'd be playing amazing this year, and if we didn't switch to 3-4.
Okay.
That's my only. I think. Okay, and now it's time to announce the winner of the trivia contest. It's Sports Wolf 3. He won. Congratulations. Okay, and now it's time for the Bills' topics of discussion. Jared, why don't you read that out for me?
All right, this week's Bills topic of discussion comes from Sports Wolf 3, and he wants to know, what's the future of Fred Jackson if we plan to make CJ Spiller the starter?
Okay, I personally think that they're both going to be good running backs, and we should keep both of them and run like we did with all 3 of them. And I think having 2 running backs is not a bad plan. What do you think?
I think it's good because I think he'll stay around because there are 2 different types of running backs. Fred Jackson I think is a little bigger than CJ, so he can probably go up the middle a little bit better. They're not the same. You need to have 2 running backs, and they're not the same style of running back, so I think he'll stick around.
All right, what do you think about that?
Honestly, we've done the best running when there's only been one featured back. Like, really, we only ran Fred Jackson during Detroit and Cincy, and that was really.
Well, CJ's injured.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Like, we've done better running when there's only been one guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's tough. I mean, eventually, Freddie's almost 30, so he's going to drop off the map in the next couple of years. That's just what happens. So sad. It is, but that's.
Well, I might disagree with that a little bit because he's only been in the league a certain amount of years.
Okay.
He was not like he came out right out of college.
No,
so I think it's less wear and tear.
Yeah.
It might not come into play for him, but you never know with running backs. Might get an injury. Okay, reminder, fans, You can leave your topics of discussion on the page if you'd like to. All right, now it's time for the keys and picks of the game. All right, my key to the game is running the ball. We need to establish a run to get a pass game in there. All right, what's yours, Nakia?
My keys to the game is flushing Ben out of the pocket. He's not good when he can't set and throw.
All right, and Jared, what's yours?
Mine is Jangale, actually. I think the only way we're going to win this game is if game plan's good. He has to come up with a good scheme and do what the Patriots did, just play around the way the Steelers always go, which is just hard-nosed.
All right, and now it's time for the picks of the game. My pick of the game is unfortunately picking the Bills to lose. I hate to see them lose at home, but they're going to lose 30-27. And what's yours?
I don't think they're going to score that much. I'm picking Pittsburgh to win 28, Bills 17.
And Jared?
Strategically, the Steelers dominate the Bills in every single way possible, which is why I am picking the Bills to win, because no one is seeing this coming. Very tight, very surprised. Game of the week, 17-14 Bills.
Okay, and I'm picking the Bills to lose. I'm going to say this. No, I'm going to say this for a reason.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the reason it's going to be a close game is because the Bills have been playing close almost every game this year except for two, Green Bay and Jets. And I think Chan Gailey's figured out the league, and I think it's going to be a close game. Obviously, they're going to lose because of the Bills and they lose.
If they lose, it'll be a blowout. If they win, it'll be close.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Vikings. See you then.
Hey Bills fans and Vikings fans, winter is upon us. And to celebrate, we're going to do the very first Bills pregame show outside in the elements. Hello and welcome to the Bills pregame show versus the Vikings. Okay, we'll do it inside.
Hi, welcome to the Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 13 against the Vikings. All right, top story, Bills fans. Can the Bills spoil the Vikings season? Now, I don't know about this question. Their season's kind of already spoiled. Can the Bills, so what do you guys think about that?
The season's already spoiled, but it's rotten. You have a fired coach, a decaying quarterback, and, an injured running back as well as a banged-up defense. I don't know what more the Bills could really spoil, so,
All right. Nakia, anything else?
I'm the same thing with you. I mean, do they even still have a chance to make the playoffs even if they went out? I kind of think the Bills are going to win. So can we spoil their season? Yes.
All right. Do we want to win?
Yeah.
To quote a bunch of great coaches, including Herb Edwards, you play the game to win.
Of course we want to win. We will not pay a top 10
What about
draft
draft pick?
We won't pay a top 10 draft pick.
I disagree with that.
Well, that's just it, though. With the lockout, you don't know who's actually going to be there and who's not anyway. So if you have those high underclassmen, might not be there next year. So you play the game to win.
I think we
and you rely on your scouting department. Trust your scouting department to do their job.
All right. And now it's time for the offensive breakdown. Okay, Fitz and Fred. They scored at least one touchdown a game will this happen? I think they're going to score a lot.
Well, I'll quote Beavis and Bud just for great sake. We're never going to score! We're never going to score! Ah!
They're going to score. I mean, Fred's been having a pretty good couple of weeks. The season's pretty decent. So I think they're going to score. I don't think they're going to have a problem scoring. They haven't, so far. So what will stop them now? Defense just hasn't been doing their job. So they haven't had a problem scoring.
All right. What's the impact of Jared Allen? Yeah. Okay, Justin, what do you think about that?
All right, well, Jared Allen, him in and of himself is a great player. The Vikings D-line is a great line.
Are the brothers healthy?
The Williams brothers, the Smothers brothers themselves, not so much. They're a little banged up, including Fat Pat. Ray Edwards is a good DN. He's hurting too. So you got to see what's the drop-off between their starters and their backups, and naturally there's going to be a drop-off there. So that would be a big thing, and I would say Demetrius Bell not giving up a sack this year, that's huge. So let's see if that continues.
All right, now it's time for the defensive breakdown. All right, Dwan Edwards got injured last game, and now we have to face Adrian Peterson. So
Who's been
Nakia,
hurt as well.
Who's been hurt as well, but if played, it could be a big game changer. So Nakia, what do you think about the defensive breakdown?
With us, all you got to do is rush Brett Favre. If we can get a good pass rush going, then I think he'll throw the ball in the ground and interceptions just like he does every other game. The Bills haven't had that many interceptions this year. What do we have? One, maybe two?
No, they had two in the Cincinnati game alone.
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
I'd say they have three at least.
Okay, they might have three. I mean, with Brett Favre, they could double that total in a game. So all they got to do is keep the pass rush going.
You kidding? They could probably triple that.
I think they could. The pressure they put on the Steelers was crazy good, and I just think that for that reason that they're going to do pretty good against the Vikings. All right, now it's time for the Bills' topic of discussion. It comes from Randy Williams. All right, topics of discussion. What part of the season made you mad the most? All right, first one, Ryan Lindell missing his second overtime field goal attempt to win the Kansas City game. Number two, Stevie Johnson dropping the ball last week. Or number three, the Bills defeating Detroit and Cincinnati to lose tiebreakers for the first overall pick. All right, I'm just going to dismiss the third one first because I don't think it really matters. Cincy, I don't think, or Detroit are going for a quarterback. You guys probably agree with that.
Yeah, I would probably say Ryan Lindell because that was probably the beginning of when we probably could have started winning. That was the game. Wasn't that the game before the Baltimore game?
Yeah.
That was like the first game where they figured, okay, they can win this game, and if they would have won that game, they probably could have went on a run because they would have started to gel. Just like when they won the first game, they won another game. This game was winnable too. So I think that was probably the one for me.
You know what? Honestly, I think all three of those are crap.
Yeah.
Simply, in probably most of those games, maybe not the Detroit one because Dick Duran would have found a way to win that, but on any Dick Duran team, those teams wouldn't have been in it. The Cincinnati game where they came back from 17 down, they would have folded. Those overtime games, they would have lost on the first drive. So I'm not exactly, I got to take the positive there. So, not to mention, you're talking about quarterbacks. I don't think the Bills need to draft a quarterback. No. Fitzpatrick's young.
Well, I'm just saying,
if
you're talking about that, yeah.
I'd say
Detroit doesn't need a quarterback either.
But
that's what I'm saying.
That's just it. You don't need to talk about
Yeah.
quarterback. Quarterback, come on.
All right, we'll have that discussion in a second. I just want to say that mine is number two, Stevie Johnson. That was just heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking.
And him doing his tweet with
blaming God.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That was indirect and out of context.
I know, but at the same time, him kind of bragging like the week before, like with Batman and Robin and everything. Why so serious? It kind of put it into context.
Well,
but I also am glad
humble,
that he's such a good. He's so cocky. I'm glad we have a cocky receiver in Buffalo again.
Well,
not
5 drops, but yeah.
But still, okay.
What?
All right, we're gonna have this discussion right now. We were thinking quarterback, offensive line, defensive player, and we were talking about before the show we should do a defensive player. And now, Justin, tell me why we should do a defensive player over a quarterback and offensive line.
Offensive line, they've been pretty solid. Even with Wood down this past week, they played well. Demetrius Bell has not given up a sack. Fitzpatrick has thrown over 20 touchdowns. Last quarterback to even come close to that, I think, is Bledsoe.
Is he not a franchise quarterback, but he's a solid quarterback for the next 3 to 4 years? Because honestly, I don't think they're going to be in the playoffs next year or the year after.
You know what? We'll wait and see on that. But you can't be last and run year after year. You need to have the guys that can stop it. So you need to have those outside backers, those inside backers, those DNs that aren't getting it done right now. I mean, Marcus Stroud, loved him when he first came here, but he's been getting old and frail. So you need to draft those guys up the middle.
All right, Nakia, so you're thinking defensive probably too, or what are you thinking?
I used to think O-line, but I think the problem with our offensive line is that they're not a cohesive bunch. There's always somebody
They're so
down.
young, yeah.
So that too, and they don't really know how to play together because there's always a missing link somewhere.
But this
Lately
year's
they've
been
been
better,
playing.
yeah.
They've been playing good. So I mean, I think if we give them some time, they may match. But I'm with you on the run. People run all over us like crazy. So I think I'm switching over to the defensive side. That we need to find a way to stop them.
Not to mention, we don't have a true pass rusher besides Kyle Williams.
People don't respect our defense. They'll go on fourth and anything at any time of the game. It's not like it's a crucial
As long as they're
period.
not running Kyle Williams or set.
They'll go. They don't respect our run game. So I'm kind of with you on that one, Justin.
Yeah. All right, so draft defense. All right, now it's time for the keys and picks of the game. My key to the game is don't drop balls because that was just infuriating. What's yours?
My key to the game is pass rush.
All right, and what's yours?
My key to the game is not letting Sean draft a quarterback.
Okay, that's not part of this game. Okay. All right, and picks of the game. I'm picking the Bills to win 30-26. What about you?
I'm picking the Bills 28-17.
And you?
27-14, the Bills.
All right, so we're all picking the Bills, and hopefully not everybody's hurt. But okay, thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the home game against the Browns. See you later.
Let's hope for our line to be Bell, Levitri, Wood, Howard, and Rado, as opposed to Wang somewhere in there for Wood.
Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 14 against the Browns. Okay, top story, Bills fans, the weather. Last couple times we played the Browns, with terrible weather. How do you think this is going to affect the game, Nakia?
Just like probably the other ones. If they're low-scoring games, it'll probably be a lot of wind, so it'll probably be a lot of running, which means the Bills defensive line has to step up. But hopefully we luck up, and I don't mind the cold. I just don't want the wind.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, Justin, what do you think?
This is man's weather here. I'm going to love it. I'm going to love watching people shivering and crying like little schoolgirls. I'm thinking that this is going to be a nice low-scoring game where the Bills can't get carved apart from 200 yards of rushing. And I think it's going to be more of the same for the Bills as far as offense goes. Run and hope that the quarterback doesn't get killed.
Okay, now it's time for the offensive breakdown. How will the O-line injuries impact the Bills? Okay, they've lost a lot of key players, and clearly it affected them last game, I thought, Nakia. So how do you think it's going to affect them this game?
It's going to still have the same effect because it messes up the continuity. Like I always say, they don't get a chance to play together. They don't get a chance to mesh and gel. So it always throws something off when somebody gets hurt.
All right, Justin, so how do you think this is going to affect them?
Well, it's going to be pretty tough, especially if we have to have Andy Levitri snapping or Ed Wayne or somebody like that. Let's just hope Wood is happy. We need a healthy Wood, you know. So I'm going to say, let's hope for our line to be Bell, Levitri, Wood, Howard, and Rado, as opposed to Wang somewhere in there for Wood.
Yeah, I heard him a lot, didn't it?
We want less Wang. We want Wood.
All right, this is a family show. Come on now. No. All right. Now, obviously, when you're breaking down the game, they're going to get a lot of running. So what do we think?
Well, look for Spiller to get 15 carries. Jackson to get about 25. Peyton Hillis to probably get about 50 because they're going to try and run it up the gut on the Bills.
So same thing for you, probably.
Yeah, nobody respects our run defense, and Peyton Hillis has come out of nowhere and been a good running back, so I think they're going to try us just like everybody else has.
Biggest steal of the year, they're trading him for Brady Quinn. I think that's the biggest rip-off of a trade I've ever seen.
All right, now it's time for the defense. The Browns have not allowed any team to score 30 points. Now I think it's going to be a factor in this game because if it's going to snow and be messy weather, it's not going to be probably that many points put up anyway. But what do you think about the Browns defense, Nakia?
I actually didn't know that they were that good, so it was kind of surprising because...
And they played the Steelers and the Patriots.
Right. So. Nobody's really talking about the team as a whole. You never really hear about them. So it'll be an interesting matchup to see what the Bills can do against what seems to be a halfway decent defense.
Okay, Des, what do you think about that?
Well, it's going to be kind of interesting, especially when you have guys like Abram Elam and Crisco Kong playing very well this year. But you can't really say anything about them. They are the no-name defense for sure.
All right. How do we stop Peyton Hillis? I mean, he's good. So what do you think?
Clone Kyle Williams. I mean, we really just don't have the players otherwise, especially with Trent Edwards down. That was a big loss. Really, you just got to hope people step up and do their job against Cleveland's good offensive line.
All right, Nakia, last game, obviously, Brett Favre got injured, and it really affected the Bills' game plan, I think. So how do you think, what would happen if they knocked the Loam out this game?
I think it would probably have the same effect. With the game on Sunday, I thought we had a better chance of winning if Brett Favre would have stayed in the game because we all know he's going to throw 4 or 5 interceptions. Jake Delhomme, you kind of plan to play him, so you know kind of what to expect because that's who you paid attention to all week. Somebody else comes in, it's just going to be, a crapshoot. Whatever happens, happens.
Well,
Justin, yep.
I'm going to say that, yeah, it could be bad. I think it would be worse if they put in Seneca Wallace over Colt McCoy, though.
True.
Seneca Wallace has a completely different style because he's a lot more mobile. Jake Delhomme, he's a statue. Colt McCoy, well, he's somewhat mobile, but he's a rookie. I would say that the bigger thing would be not allowing them to have Seneca Wallace behind center. Maybe it's the meat I'm eating right now, I swear.
Oh, he likes his meat. Okay, now it's time for our topic of discussion. It comes from Hill Range. And it's one where Ralph sell the team. And I don't know if this is coming from whether the Sabres are going to sell their team or not. But I don't think Ralph is selling the team. He's made it quite clear that he's not going to sell them while he's alive. So, yeah.
I'm with you. He's never going to sell the team. It'll transfer whenever he dies, but as long as he's living and breathing, he's going to be the owner of the Buffalo Bills.
All right. Yep. Same.
Yeah, I think the Bills will be sold when Ralph is 6 feet under. Hate to say it that way, but that's just the truth.
All right, and now it's time for our keys and picks to the game. My key to the game is run the ball. Obviously, with the weather, I think it's going to be terrible. I'm not looking forward to it, especially how bad the Bills have been. So, the weather. Nakia, what about you?
I'm thinking they need to stop Peyton Hillis. He's been running over people all season, so I just want, maybe the train will stop with us.
All right, what about you?
Score first and then turn out the power.
Okay. And now it's time for our picks of the game. I picked the Browns to win this one in a close one, 20-17. What about you?
Wow, high scoring. I'm actually going to go
That's like the lowest score I've had all game.
I'm actually going to go with the Bills, but I'm going more of a 13-10.
13-10. Okay. How about you?
I'm going to say Bills 3-2.
Okay, quite a low score there, Justin.
Hey, you got to set your standards low for when these two face each other.
That's fine.
They set back football 10 years every time they play.
Okay. Thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Miami Dolphins. Thank you.
Really? You'd rather have Wang jokes over me eating meat?
You love meat, don't even lie.
Oh, but we all know you love Wang.
So I'm pretty much done. Hate to see him go, but I'm really glad to see him leave.
Hi, and welcome to the Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 15 against the Fish. All right, top story: Brett Favre. Brett Favre. No, I'm just kidding. Brett Favre. All right, top story: the Fish are 6-1 playing away. And they're 1-5 at home. So what does this mean? The Bills are going to win. I don't know. Nakia, what do you think?
I'm actually pulling for them this week since, you know, how do you not win at home? I mean, the Bills wear out the best, but I think we have more than one win at home. So I'm pulling for the Bills to go in and continue their streak of not winning at home.
All right. That's
Well,
what do you think?
let's see. Miami, they're the sport that, or the city that supports other sports. They got LeBron and Wade. They have the baseball team and the Marlins. They even have the Panthers that probably pull more rank than the Dolphins. Who cares about a little fish? A team that are a bunch of little fish. Come on. Quite frankly,
You realize they're going to get a lot of heckle for that if they kill us.
yeah, you know what? They're the fish. I hate them. I mean, come on. The Bills almost won with Trent Edwards as quarterback to start the season against these guys, so they're not all that good. So I will have to say this. I think the Bills have a good chance to pull this one off.
All right. Thinking about them pulling off the win, big story. Evans might be on IR. Or is he on IR?
He is on IR,
okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. He is on IR. And how do we stop the Miami linebackers? All right. So how are we going to score without, I think Evans obviously is the biggest offensive threat besides, Stevie Johnson. So what do you think?
Yeah, but we haven't really been using them, so it's
He
kind of
hasn't been getting open as much this year,
But I think they're marking, because that's what they did, with T.O. and Evans. Like, well, you would have one, they'd double cover, and or do you think he's just not, he's underproducing this year?
I think it's a little of both. I mean, he has caught touchdowns, but you're number one receiver, so you're supposed to be able to catch a ball no matter who.
You're supposed to have more than 37 catches right now.
No matter who.
He's been dropping a lot.
Yeah, no matter who
yeah.
is, guard. No matter who's covering you. So I think part of it is him, and I think part of it is, we just haven't been able to get the ball to him. So it'll be interesting to see who steps up with him being out.
I think that David Nelson has really come along well as an undrafted rookie, but you got to make no mistake. There were three guys ahead of him to start the year. You had Easley, you had Parrish, and you also had Evans himself. Actually, you might have even considered James Hardy ahead of him to start the year. So that shows how far he's come along, but how far down the depth chart we are as well. So I think that's going to be a noticeable gap.
All right. So the Miami linebackers. How do we stop them?
Well, let's see. Last year, Cameron Wake ate our right tackle alive, and he really has come along pretty well. I've never been a big fan of Chandler Crowder. I don't think he's that great of a player, but Dansby, he can definitely bring it. And for a 3-4, they're going to be creative. They're going to be sending from all different directions. It's, can our young line with Wood at center do everything well? Can they make the right reads and block everyone they're supposed to block?
All right.
So we need Wood to be on top of his game.
All right. Hopefully he's up there.
Hopefully
all right.
Injuries helping.
Yeah, that'd be great. All right, now it's time for the defensive breakdown. The Bills have had trouble stopping the run, and last week they did a pretty good job. So how do you think they're going to do against Ronnie Brown and Ricky Williams?
It's going to be hard because those are two big backs. Even though Ricky Williams is a little older, he still has a lot left in the tank, and he still can deliver.
He hasn't taken a beating since Jay Fiedler was the quarterback.
Yeah, he can deliver a punishing blow. So if you're gonna go after him, you're gonna have to stop him because he will run through you.
Well, what do you think?
I think they're just going to send some OG Kush or Purple Urple to his mailbox and see what will happen. Really, Ricky Williams, he can definitely bring it. Ronnie Brown, he can bring it. They're both dangerous backs. But what really matters is our Carrington, Williams, Stroud, are they going to get the job done? Same with Spencer Johnson. That whole crew, they need to get it done up front, along with all the different linebackers, including rookie sensation at this point, Arthur Moats.
Yeah, the moat. All right.
Across the moats.
Yeah. Do the Dolphins have an air attack, Nakia?
Not really, because, I mean, who are their receivers? Is Brandon Marshall still playing? Okay, so he's, I guess, gotten his act together and he's playing.
Not really.
Yeah, but I'm saying you don't really hear, they don't have like a big receiver, so I mean, if our linebacker, I mean, if our DBs can do their job, then their air attack won't even be an issue.
It looks like another game just like Cleveland, where you have a quarterback that ain't that great, receivers that don't do crap, and you got to just stop the running game. So yeah, I think
we can actually win this game and the Dolphins not lose it. Like last week, we actually won the Cleveland game. Cleveland didn't lose that game.
Yes, I agree with that. We're actually on agreement. What the hell's wrong with us? Maybe it's the Pringles. Good attitude today.
All right, now it's time for a topic of discussion. Nakia would like to talk about this. Obviously, SportsCenter was a love fest with Brett Favre. Brett Favre. The Bills ending Favre's streak. Nakia, what do you have to say about this?
I probably would not have had a problem with this maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, but at this point, you never want to see anybody end their career on an injury. But at this point, it's like, please don't come back. Put them on IR, let them go, let them retire, and just not come back. It was great for 20 years. He probably should have been gone about 3 or 4 years ago. Never should have went to the Jets. That should have been the end of it. So I'm pretty much done. Hate to see him go, but I'm really glad to see him leave.
Okay, what do you think?
I'm actually surprised that he didn't get suspended this year for sexually harassing the cheerleader, sending pictures of Brett Favre.
She was an employee. She wasn't a cheerleader. She was a Jets employee.
All right.
No, she was
an employee.
She was an employee.
Well, be that as it may, he was sending pictures of his penis to her. So, yeah, it's not exactly a good thing. If that was anyone else in the NFL, he would have been suspended. So I'm very surprised that the NFL, well, not really surprised because their discipline system's all screwed up. But, yeah, I'm surprised it didn't end there. But, hey, Arthur Moats, you don't cross the moats.
No, you do not.
I love how in the locker room the Bills are actually screwing around with Moats going, hey, legend killer. And they're giving him Wranglers and stuff like that, messing with him. So I think it's pretty cool. And I think he's handled it pretty well, too, with the interviews that he's had. Maybe we could finally have him off of SportsCenter, and maybe SportsCenter could actually do some real reporting for a change. Maybe.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, I'm taking a shot at ESPN
they hate the Bills, so we understand. Well,
yeah, that's based in Connecticut. They're New England homers to begin with.
All right, now it's time for the keys and picks of the game. My key to the game, actually, I'll let you guys go first.
My key to the game, I think, is going to be running the ball. I think the Bills have to kind of stick to the running game to open up the passing game, especially with Evans being
112
out.
yards last week, yes.
Friday, and then CJ had some carries too, yeah.
Especially with Evans being out, they're really going to have to they always run a lot, but they're going to have to run effectively. They aren't really effective with the run yet.
All right, what do you think?
I'm going to go with a little bit of an off-ball here. Get the tight ends involved. You know what? They were actually very much involved against the Browns, and that's probably the first time I've seen that. You had David Martin and Stupar that were both getting some big passes. Unfortunately, the one big play by Stupar was the one that injured Evans. But be that as it may, I'll get the tight ends involved.
All right, and mine's basically a defensive thing because the Bills, they need to stop the run. Obviously, we talked about it, and if they continue what they did last week, then I think they'll be successful in winning this game. All right, now it's time for the picks of the game. And now, I kind of picked the Bills to lose last time, or when I picked it like a couple minutes ago, but now I'm picking the Bills. But I'll say the score I already put down. I picked the Bills to lose 17-23. Nakia, what's yours?
I picked the Bills to win 24-17.
And what about you?
You stole my score. You cheater. 20-17 Buffalo. They're going to win this one.
All right, thank you for joining us this week. See you next week for the Pats.
Brett Favre!
Holy...
Hi, and welcome to Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 16 against the Patriots. All right, Bills fans, it's the streak of 14. Can the Bills snap it? The last time the Bills beat the Patriots, this guy was at quarterback, Drew Bledsoe. So what do you think about this game, Nakia?
Unfortunately, I think the streak is going to go to 15, especially since the Patriots won't be sitting anybody because they haven't clinched their playoff spot. I think we're going down, unfortunately.
You know what? This is the same team, though, that gave the Patriots a run for their money in Foxborough. I think with a friendly environment, there is a chance. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, though I am foretelling what I'm going to be picking later on by saying I think they're going to do it.
Okay.
I think they got the chance.
All right, now it's time for the offensive breakdown. Will Fitz throwing a touchdown. He has, what, a 14-game touchdown throwing streak? And I'm pretty sure one of the guys on the radio said he was going to run in his underwear down Delaware or something. So he needs to score 30 touchdowns, but will he score another one today?
Oh, he's definitely going to throw another one today. If he can do it with pretty much all backups, like he did last week, he can definitely keep it going at home. I don't even think there's a question. The question is how many will he throw?
All right.
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be inevitable. Do I think he's going to get 30 for a season? No. Would I pay to watch Jerry Sullivan run downtown bare-assed? Hell yeah. I'm sorry, I hate Jerry Sullivan. I would love to see that happen. He is an absolute tool as a writer.
Now, what also, on the offensive breakdown, I'd like to add something that they're like last in the NFL in tight ends receptions. So do they get the tight ends involved?
They've been getting them involved lately. So I think they'll probably continue to streak because
there'll probably be 2 or 3 catches for them, but yeah, it's still better than nothing.
Yeah, it's like why stop when they've been doing such a good job? I mean, he could have had 2 touchdowns or something. They called one back or something.
Yeah.
But so I mean, you might as well keep going. It's working.
Yeah. Not to mention David Nelson's been prolific catching the ball in the end zone the last 4 games now. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably get one of those. All right. Now it's time to talk about the rookie receivers.
Yeah, we do need to talk about that. I mean, you look at it, you have Stevie Johnson, a 7th-round pick, and a bunch of no-name undrafted rookies. They're playing darn well right now. I mean, Stevie Johnson has a tie of the receiving record for most touchdowns in a season with Billy Brooks out of all people. Not Reed, not Lofton, not Dubenion. Billy Brooks had that record, and now he's tied with Billy Brooks, so that's very impressive. 11 touchdowns this season. Not to mention, David Nelson has been a touchdown machine the last few games. You got to get it to them. And with Donald Jones and who else? Naaman Roosevelt. Yeah,
Buffalo native.
Buffalo native UB product. You got to get props for these no-name receivers that Fitzpatrick is heaving the ball to. So,
all right. Now it's time for the defensive breakdown. How do we defend against the 3 tight ends? I don't like it.
As usual, we gotta. Our DBs definitely have to step up, and
outside backers as well.
Yeah, basically you gotta stop them from throwing the ball. They throw to their tight ends a lot, so everybody kind of has to do their job to keep these guys from catching the ball.
Well, this past Sunday, the Bills looked like the Blitzburg D of the '90s, where they're sending anyone and everyone. That's what they really need to do. Arthur Motes has really come along very well this year. You don't cross the moats. Beyond that, you got to see Jarris Bird and Dante Whitner on blitzes. Though Whitner may be gone at the end of the year due to contract, but it would be great to keep utilizing for the time we do have them.
All right.
That kind of leads into the next point for you.
Oh yeah. With that said, I was about to say, can we pressure Brady? I mean, we got trouble, and if you pressure Brady, it seems whenever you pressure him, he does get shaken up and play bad. So, Nakia, what do you think about this?
I think if they keep doing what they did last week, because we probably could have had, 2 or 3 more fumbles recovered last week after, them getting called back. So I think they have to continue doing what they're doing. If they pressure him, he's going to be all out of sorts. So definitely going to be interesting to see if they keep the same defense going.
Anything for you?
Well, yeah, you're right. When you pressure Cindy Brady, she kind of falls apart. But that's the whole thing. Brady's just like any other quarterback. You get a hand in his face, he falls apart. So knock him around, beat him up, maybe hit him from behind and injure his shoulder, kind of like that other geezer quarterback, But anyway.
Okay, now it brings us into our last point, roughing the Brady. A penalty that should probably be invented in the NFL, but it's not. And is this going to happen a lot tomorrow? What can we expect, Nakia?
Probably. I mean, it's ever since he got hit with the what was that, first game of the season and his knee got messed up?
Oh yeah.
Ever since then, you pretty much can't touch him. Even though people don't want to admit it, say, it's all fair across the board, we know that's not true. So I think it's going to continue. The Bills are going to have to be really careful about, how they play him.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think it goes back even further. You got to go back to the Tuck rule, Brady's first year, where they made up the rule essentially for him. Beyond that, as our producer is trying to do beer pong with ice cubes, there have been some really dubious calls to protect him. Like one time he doesn't slide, he sits down, Chris Kelsey tees off on him. They flag him for that. And there's been a bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, they're going to be overprotective of this little wuss who is probably less of a man than his girlfriend, wife, Giselle, I would say that that's going to be a big thing there. But yeah, I think that's really going to be protective of him and just the Patriots in general. I honestly think that they've gotten away with so much over the years by either paying off the refs, protecting the refs.
Yeah, we were talking about the refs.
And I mean, you look at any time they're on prime time, especially against the Ravens out of all teams, the refs always screw the other team to benefit the Patriots. It's unbelievable.
But could you say that to good teams, you do get calls? I mean, I'm sure when the Bills were in their heyday, I wasn't there for it, but when they were really good, they could get calls from the refs. I mean,
it was a different era, though. Yeah. You didn't have people whining to the ref for a flag as much as you do now.
Okay.
I mean, beyond that, there are times where Tom Brady gets hit legally. He'll go, "Come on, throw a flag," and they'll throw a flag for that. It's unbelievable what the NFL allows the Patriots to get away with. Mind you, they're probably still taping other teams and other crap like that. They should have lost all the games from that season and from every other game as well, including those Super Bowls. I think they're illegitimate. I mean, I can't fathom the NFL being a legitimate league without penalizing the Patriots anymore.
Well,
they need
that's
to.
how they roll. So
it's bass backwards when you have people getting fined for legal hits, but you have the Patriots getting away with surveillance crap or Brett Favre sending pictures of his penis. So
okay, pretty strong about that topic there. Now it's time for the keys of the game. My key to the game is really getting to Tom Brady. When you get to Tom Brady, get him out of his groove, then I think we'll have a chance of slowing down their offense. What's yours, Nakia?
I'm going with run the ball. The passing game has been coming along pretty good, so now we got to get Fred Jackson and C.J. Spiller back in the game.
All right, Justin, what's yours?
Catch their surveillance guy, whoever is actually videotaping their practices. That's what they need to do.
Okay, now it's time for our picks of the game. I picked the Bills to lose a 31-20, and that comes back to 31 to score that they did the last time the Bills beat them. So, but what's yours?
I'm picking the Patriots 38-28.
Okay, and what's yours?
I'm going against the grain here. I'm going to say the Bills 21-20.
Wow.
Okay, thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Jets.
Die, you Patriot, die!
Merry Christmas!
Our producer's really off of his game this week.
He really is.
Are you guys ready?
Something like that.
All right, the possible series finale, who knows? All right, here we go.
Alright, welcome to the Buffalo Bills Pregame Show. What could be our last show? Alright, talk about the Jets game. Does this game matter? We said it doesn't. Because the Jets are in, they can't get a home game. So, keys to the game, guys.
Attack the dirty Sanchez.
Okay.
I'm thinking they got to stop the run. I think they're going to have to stop LT and Sean Green. They've had a pretty decent season so far. So I think that's going to be their keys to the game.
And my key to the game is, I don't care. Alright, picks of the game. Picking the Bills to win this game 28-17 just because it doesn't matter. Alright.
I am not picking the Bills. I think the Jets are going to win, but I'm saying about 24-13.
I disagree with you that this game doesn't matter, man. I think the Jets are going to be playing it for it. I think it's going to be the Jets 24-14.
Alright. You want to talk about it a little more? I don't really care. What do you want?
There is nothing to talk about. This game just is a crap game. Basically, Bills are fighting for draft pick and pride at this point. The Jets are playing for pride and maybe to bump up a position in playoffs. There ain't much to talk about.
Alright, let's do a season in recap. Best moment of the year. I guess I'll let you guys, what's yours?
Best moment of the year, I actually like the block from Fitzpatrick. I always liked him, but that made me think, you know what, he's like a real quarterback. He's throwing blocks and he laid somebody out, so that was probably my best moment of the year.
Alright, what's yours?
The comeback in Cincy, that was just one hell of a game. Not to mention watching T.O. crying on the sidelines, you know.
And my favorite was Arthur Moats taking out Brett Favre. Alright.
You don't cross the moats.
You don't cross the moats.
You don't cross the moats.
You don't do it. Alright, best Bills player of the year. Debatable, you could say Fitzpatrick, Stevie Johnson, Kyle Williams. So what do you think, Justin?
Kyle Williams has been a beast. Pro Football Focus has graded each player's assignments throughout the game, and he is rating as the defensive MVP for the year. And only reason he won't get awards is because he's playing for the Bills.
Alright.
So,
I mean, I'm liking Stevie Johnson. He had 1,000 yards receiving this year. He basically came out of nowhere, and you know he stepped up to the challenge. So I'm going with Stevie Johnson.
All right. Worst moment of the year. What's yours, Nakia?
I was going to say him dropping the ball, but I probably will have to say what did we miss, a field goal in overtime or something in one of those games and lost? Whatever was the first game that we could have won and we didn't win, that was probably, that started like the downhill streak. Did we play KC before Baltimore or after?
yeah. It doesn't matter. It was a bad game, yeah.
Whatever the first game that could have started that streak, then that was probably my worst moment of the year. Because that one game probably could have set off a winning streak of 3 games because we had 3 overtime games. We've had just a lot of overtime this year. And that could have been 3 wins straight as far as I'm concerned.
All right. So the Baltimore field goal, or before, okay, whatever. Okay, Justin.
What I will say is worst moment of the year, The whole season? Just
all the home games I had to go through and watching miserable, just crap. Oh my gosh.
And our producer's going nuts about Baltimore. Whatever. Who gives a crap? Stop freaking writing, producer. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole season in general. It was interesting, but it still sucked.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Worst player when we said.
Well, there were plenty of candidates, but
yeah. Trent Edwards.
That's your pick there.
Maben. He's definitely considered a first-round bust.
Well, McCargo, he has to be the ultimate one on the team right now. 5 years in, and he's not even on the field. Come on.
True. But
What a waste of freaking
He's
talent.
a first-rounder. He should have made an impact. He's the worst.
All right, surprise.
So is McCargo.
Yeah.
All right, surprise player of the year.
Well, there's plenty of them. You could say Trent Edwards for a negative reason, but I would say the whole receiving core, minus Lee Evans, all made impacts and
Well, I was
stepped up.
surprised. I mean, he was,
he was
consistent
basically
and he was doing nothing.
He was consistently invisible. Lee Evans, yeah.
And before that, no, he was doing okay.
I know.
He was dropping off the map.
Even last year with T.O. around, he was somewhat invisible. I would say that he's just hasn't taken over that number one role. But Stevie Johnson stepped up, Roscoe Parrish, David Nelson, and even Naaman Roosevelt the past couple games. So yeah, and Donald Jones for both his offense and special teams.
Yes.
What do you think for the worst player?
Worst player? I thought we were doing surprise player.
Or surprise player, I'm sorry.
I'm agreeing with him. I would give it to the whole receiving core. They definitely, pretty much all of them are like undrafted no names.
Or seventh rounders.
Yeah, or like real late
Midget
rounders.
kick returners.
Yes, pretty much. So to me, they probably get the surprise player of the year award.
My surprise players of the year are the offensive line. Going from last year, they have stepped it up and blocked, pretty decently for Fitzpatrick.
And it made it to week 13 without major injury.
Yeah, and it was a surprise to me that they did so good when they were ranked 31st, 32nd in the league last year. So I mean that's my surprise players. All right,
still not ranked high, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right.
This year we had a bunch of accomplishments. For example, we were...
And in a down Bills year, we had a bunch of accomplishments.
Yes.
We had a video that got 4,000 views.
We were actually on public access TV.
Which probably no one saw. How many people?
Yeah, probably. It was only in the city of Buffalo.
Yeah,
if
so
you had public access then.
Which
we happened to
not have.
Which none of us happened to ever watch.
Yeah, so we have ad revenue sharing for YouTube accounts.
YouTube, because a couple of our videos got enough hits. Beyond that, I got to interview a Buffalo Bills legend, the guy that went on the Wall of Fame this year, Booker Edgerson.
Which was pretty cool.
It was. Jared, the producer, and I, we got to sit around and interview him from his own house. I mean, you don't get to do that on an everyday basis,
So meet a pretty popular Bills player back in the day. Now, what's been your favorite show this year? I don't know.
They all blended together. Usually it's whatever ones I could yell at Jared, the producer, and throw a bunch of stuff.
Or your favorite moment, was it kicking the ball at Jared?
Well, yeah, you got to do
I
that.
did that. I mean, orchestrating that.
I don't know. I could say just some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Eating pizza at the producer's expense.
Yeah.
I mean, since he's making us drive over here.
The snow. When you guys,
the blizzard.
That was my least favorite moment. I wanted to kill him.
Okay, least favorite moment.
The blizzard show was fun.
All right, now let's do the Super Bowl picks. I'm gonna pick the Pats and the Falcons. What's yours?
I'm going with New Orleans and Pittsburgh.
All right, and yours?
I'm gonna say the Ravens. I think they're a stronger team than the Falcons. 2 dirty birds this year.
That'd be a good one.
All right, the Birds. And our producer wants to say his pick.
I'll go with the Pats and Eagles.
All right. 2 cities I really hate. Okay. Oh, areas. That's not really. All right. Thank you for joining us this year. It's been fun this whole year. It might be our last show. Thanks for watching us the last 2 years. If there's no Bills or no football next year, it won't be any show. But it's been fun with you guys. I know for me. Hopefully the same with you guys. But maybe we'll see you next year, maybe not.
Maybe we could just pray to Tom Cruise that everything works out. Maybe. Tom Cruise, come on, man.
All right.
I don't believe in him or Lord Zenu.
And hopefully the Bills cannot pick a bad draft pick like they did last year. All right. We'll see you for a couple of playoff games and a Super Bowl show, which we'll all be there for. All right. Thank you for joining us.
Until then, you stay classy, Buffalo.
Go Sabres. Buffalo Bills Pregame Show for Week 12 against the Miami Dolphins, or the Fish. All right, our top story this week, Eric Wood and all the injuries on the offensive line. We know it's been the whole story this whole year, and now it got even worse, Eric Wood. And we signed Kendall Simmons. So how bad is this, man?
Well, they also brought Christian Gaddis, who's been on the practice squad. They brought him on up as well, but honestly, Kendall Simmons has been very good over the past between Pittsburgh and New England just let him go, which is a surprise. But watching that break, that was probably one of the more gruesome injuries I've seen a Bill take, besides Kevin Everett, of course. And you got to have continuity on the line to get better. And frankly, I hope that a harder coach will have a tougher team that will not get hurt as much. That's a big thing there.
All right, so what do you think about the line?
I'm with you, Justin. In order for them to get better, they have to kind of stay together. We also lost Seth McKinney for the year.
Yes.
So that's another big thing. And Kendall Simmons was a first-round draft pick in 2002, and he just got released, about 2 weeks ago from New England. So he's still in shape. It might not be that hard for him to slip in and help us out. But
maybe we can steal some of Belichick's secrets as well.
But with that messed up O-line, it's going to be a rough last 6 games of the season.
Yeah.
All right, our next topic is coaching rumors, of course. Mike Shanahan talking with the Bills. We're also in the process of that. So, Justin, what do you think about that?
Well, they're showing commitment to wanting to pay a big time coach.
Will he pay?
Well, yeah, I think he will. If you have Brandon over in Denver for 2 days talking to Shanahan for 7 hours. I know they kind of gave lip service to both Holmgren and Cowher. Holmgren just basically told the Bills to buzz off, but Cowher is saying, yeah, maybe after a season we can talk about it. So I think they're wanting to make a commitment there. That said, I think Fuel, if he keeps showing what he's showing right now, we might not have that need.
Okay. Do you want Mike Shanahan?
I don't have a problem with Mike Shanahan. I think we need an offensive-minded coach. I mean, our defense isn't that bad. Perry Fuel's been doing a great job with the defense. Even with the patchwork secondary we have, we don't really give up a lot of points. Our offense just doesn't put up a ton of points. So I think our defense is okay, but I really think that we need an offensive-minded coach.
All right, here's a question for you guys. Mike Ditka, what do you think of Ditka as a coach? Offense or defense?
Defense.
He was an offensive guy. You know who the defensive coordinator was for those Bears? Buddy Ryan. You need to have a good, strong offensive mind and a strong defensive mind. I don't care if we have a good defensive coach.
I think we have that in Perry Fuel.
Yeah, I think we have.
So if we get an offensive coach and we put Perry Fuel back down to the defensive coordinator.
And that's one of the flaws of the Duran era. We had a good defensive mind in Duran and Fuel underneath him. But we haven't had an offensive coordinator. And when a coordinator would say, hey, we need to do this, well, he got fired.
Okay, staying on the topic about the coach, we were talking about, do we need, Perry Fuel's a lot harder coach. He's also more enthusiastic, as we saw last game. As he told me, the Bills practiced in the rain today. which is a nice change from the Dick Duran eras, getting a little tougher on the players. So what do you think about that, Justin?
Well, under the Dick Duran era, we saw soft practices make soft players. If we have some hard practices, contact in practice, which Duran never did, or practicing outside, which Duran never did, you know what, maybe we're going to have some tougher players that injure people as opposed to getting injured. That's a big thing there. I like his enthusiasm. It's better than having a golf clap every 2 seconds on TV.
Yeah, so what do you think?
I'm with Justin. It was really great to see some enthusiastic on the sideline. I always joke that Dick Duran got Botox on Saturday night because he never had any expression in his face. So it's like, you know, what's the deal? So it was good to see somebody running up and down the sidelines with some kind of, you know, enthusiasm and making them practice because, you know, like he said, if you don't practice hard, then you don't play hard and you get hurt. So, you know, it was great to see. Even with the loss, I was happy with the improvement.
Oh yeah, I mean, probably the parallel. If it's like boxing in a sense. If you're gonna have somebody that just walks up and if I just punch you, it's probably gonna hurt you. But if I train and you train and we're hitting each other day in and day out, those punches when you get to the fight aren't gonna hurt as much.
All right. And now it's on to the Fish and their problems. Ronnie Brown, he's on IR now, so maybe that will affect the Wildcat. They have a weak D line, which maybe offset our offensive line. And so, what do you think about that, Justin?
If their line is hurting, maybe we can get some push. Maybe we can protect the quarterback, and maybe some good stuff can happen. Lynch and Jackson need to improve their average. As far as rushing goes, we need to have protection for the quarterback so we can have some stats offensively, period.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe with those guys hurt, you know, it'll make our offensive line look better. Maybe we can throw a few Wildcats in of our own. I mean, Fred Jackson has a good spiral, so we need to try to use them where we can. So I'm hoping that with everybody, you know, with the injuries on both teams, that hopefully we can come on top.
All right, and now it's time for Justin's Trivia Corner.
Hi, welcome to Justin's Trivia Corner, brought to you this week by Snapple, the best stuff on earth. Love my doggy. Perry Field was not the first black man to act as head coach for the Buffalo Bills. Who was? This has been Justin's Trivia Corner, brought to you by Snapple.
Okay, now let's talk about the defense.
Good doggy.
Bills stopped Reese Jones-Drew last week, and so let's talk about the Justin. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Mojo Drew, you know what? He got stopped by Kyle Williams and Spencer Johnson. They played huge. McCargo, he did well. And I'll even add, Brian Scott is a linebacker. I'm all for it. He did great. He filled gaps. I think that we can do with this makeshift alignment.
All right, so what do you think about that?
I'm with you, Justin. Kyle Williams came up real big in this game on Sunday. And for them to stop Maurice Jones-Drew, who's probably had, what, a couple of 100-yard games straight?
Yeah, he's been a beast this season.
So, I mean, for them to stop them, even though with the loss, it was an improvement, even though we did lose the game. The defense did come up pretty big. Like I said, the offense just
They played for Perry.
Okay, another one of the topics I want to talk about is this week the Bills, I think they need to get young players in. Sean Nelson, he's going to be a beast in this league. You need to see more of him. Hardy, I'd like to see him in there. So, Justin, what do you think?
I agree. Yeah, not much more to that. I agree.
I'm with you. It seems like Hardy's kind of disappeared off the radar for him to supposedly such a big player. So hopefully he can come back and contribute.
All right, now it's time for the keys of the game. My key to the game is, can the subs coming in for the Bills offensive line and other positions play? What's yours?
My key to the game is the weather. We got Miami coming up from the south. We're supposed to get some rain, some wind, maybe a little snow. So hopefully that'll kind of throw them off. It'll make the Bills run and, you know, also make, you know, Miami run. So I'm sticking with the weather.
All right, what's yours?
I think Ricky Williams, man, he's going to be smoking up the bud and getting suspended, you know. Yeah, that's right, man. Don't get suspended, Ricky Williams.
And now it's time for our picks of the game. My pick to the game is 31-17 Bills.
Oh,
I'm going 17-10 Bills. I'm picking them to win, but I don't think they're still going to score.
All right, what's yours?
Mine's going to be kind of close. I was saying 23-14 Bills.
Okay, and now it's time for
Bills 13-10.
We got to cut them off all the time.
Yeah. And now it's time for the question of the week. Will Brian Brom start this year? And I think
no.
He's not going to start. Thank you for joining us this week. Join us next week for the Jets. That's a Thursday game, so we'll get that up to you. All right, bye.